Hello and welcome to Roll for It Avatar Legends RPG episode 4. We're past the halfway mark. It's the end is coming up.
No.
There's only so much time.
Yeah, that's sad. Don't say that. I'm just,
That's
I'm I'm honestly so attached to this group.
We've only just started to be now going towards the end. It's only just the beginning of that. There we go. Let's put a silver lining.
There you
on
go. Okay, all right. Thank you. You've softened the blow. Thank you,
preparing. We're missing a Maggie today. Unfortunately, she can't make it. She's in a place with no internet at the moment, so we're down to 3, but we will survive. I mean, without supervision, we may cause catastrophe.
Oh,
But-
I was gonna say our responsibility is gone. We just like the oversight is gone. So
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Time.
It's
Time
funny
for
how
trouble.
because it's the class's guardian. It's like if the guardian's gone, there is no replacement. Like when the person the guardian's guardian of goes, then they get another person they're guardian of. But if you lose the guardian, then there's no one that takes over, like keeping an eye on Delight. But then we're probably all equally up to shenanigans anyway.
oh,
For sure.
I always when we were talking about it, I thought you were gonna be the shenanigans person. You know.
I mean, Chen definitely wants to get in there and cause trouble, so it's possible.
Yeah, hammer things. Am I right?
Oh no,
Hashtag
I
just
just
hammer
realized we're gonna have to confront Delight without her guardian there.
Oh,
And
no.
it's both of us passionate people gonna be like, yo, we just discovered something.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good time.
Oh,
Oh
dear.
no.
All right, let's go through the announcements and all that kind of thing, and then we can get to it. So we got some stuff happening on the Patreon. As always, we have the NPC name submissions are out now. They came out this week, and the Corbin Cogdeer character sheet from Ascension is out as well for you to check out. There's tons more Ascension stuff that's going to be coming up as well. We've been working our way through a huge dungeon that he's going to be, I think, releasing the map for and various other details and things like that. There's various rooms we've not even gone into that may come back to bite us. But yeah, once that's over, you'll probably be able to get a whole bunch of that stuff. Many character sheets of many major characters. It just turns out that every character we know happens to be in this dungeon right now. It's now turning out. And yeah, tons of lore drops. So there's tons and tons of Ascension stuff. I don't even know what half it's going to be yet, but there'll be plenty for people to sink their teeth into. We're also sponsored by Roll20. We're using Roll20 for this game. We use it for most of the games we do because it's super convenient for playing RPGs with your friends on the internet. No matter what those RPGs are, if you have to pay money to get it, then there'll be a sheet for it, and if you don't have to pay money to get it, there may still be a sheet for it. Plenty of people love making those. Which is super awesome. It means it's really easy to just play whatever you want with your friends on it. We sometimes do giveaways as well. You can keep an eye on our Twitter, and when we do have a giveaway going on, you'll see it in the pinned tweet, and you'll be able to get some RPG books on Roll20 from the giveaways. There's also going to be a special holiday gift that we're going to be doing soon. Keep an eye on the Patreon. In the next few days, there will be a post up where you can put in some details to get that particular gift. Yeah, that's the announcements. And let's talk about how you can support us. We have a Patreon. Patreon is the main way that we fund our shows, and how we're able to have all these cool people doing all these cool things all on this regular cool amount of time every week, twice a week. But you can support us. Various different tiers that give you a whole bunch of different rewards, including one unlimited 2 MP3s of all of our shows. After shows we record after every show, we talk about what happens in the show. You can get character sheets, you can get enemy character sheets and other stats, things like that. You can watch interviews where we interview cast and GMs about questions that you submit. And you can also watch the monthly recaps where the admins talk about how things are going throughout the month. If you're crazy, you can even support us at Legend tier, where you get to take part in a once monthly RPG session that is GM'd by a member of the Roll for It cast. I think we just had the, it's December now, so yes, we did just have the November one. I know what time it is. I have a grasp of the current date, but we recently had London GMing a Call of Cthulhu session for the Legends. You can also support us, of course, on Twitch as well. You can do the Twitch things. You can give us bits which appear in the cup. They float upwards into the cup, and you can try and fill that or empty that as you see fit. There's Fredato subscribing right on time. Oh, the bit just went straight out again. it hits the impenetrable wall. They formed like a layer. It just bounced off immediately. I'm sorry, Fredato, but thank you. You can also give us tips. They appear on the screen. We read them out at the end of the show, so thank you for being awesome and supporting the episode. And of course, you can subscribe on Twitch. That gives you most badges and immediate access to the Twitch VODs, whereas normally we would have to wait 24 hours for the VODs to appear over on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, you can become a YouTube member, which gives you emotes and badges over there. And being a YouTube member, Twitch subscriber, or Patreon supporter lets you join the Discord, where you can hang out with us and other fans of the show and talk about all things Roll For It and some things not. Various different rooms in there for spoilers and not spoilers, and various other like community things. We always appreciate people hopping in there and posting clips and GIFs. We always appreciate all the clips people make, and we try and select the best clip to put in well, the best couple clips to put in our tweets throughout the week. So you could be the one. We super appreciate when people clip the cool moments, because then we get to show everyone else the cool moments. We appreciate people helping out with the wiki as well. There's always more work to be done there, putting in more details about all the new shows. So thank you to everyone who contributes to the wiki, and all that kind of thing. We also love when people press the buttons. There's various buttons around the player, probably, depending on how you're watching this, and if you press those, it usually helps us out. We appreciate that too. But even just being here is helping us out already. Like the button pressing demonstration. Yeah,
It's
you
just visual age.
but yeah, you could just help us out by doing that. And we appreciate that too. Plenty of people don't have the financial means to support us, and we totally understand that. Always look after yourself first when it comes to money, and you can always help us out in non-monetary ways. So if you never feel bad. We worry sometimes, but you don't worry about us. We'll be okay. But we appreciate all the help, no matter what it is, monetary or not. It's always super useful, and we thank you for it. Thank you all for being here. So I think that's all the stuff. Let's get to the session.
Alrighty. Well, we return to the world of the Four Nations. There was a lot that happened last time.
Really?
Just leave it at that. No. So let's recap. For everybody's sake, there was a party, which was sort of a display of the Chen's wealth, but also welcome delight into Ba Sing Se's political society. It didn't go well. Some potential assassins interrupted and tried to take out Justice. Delight was in the crossfire. They did not succeed. They were captured and escaped in some cases. In the aftermath of that, we discovered, some of the group discovered that those assassins were part of a group called the Badgermole Society, which wants to sort of do something about the way that Ba Sing Se is run right now. They think that something is wrong with the city and it needs to be changed. They didn't go into any more details beyond that, but that's what you know. And they live somewhere underneath the city, or that's where they operate. Then we also learned that the Chens have been working with the Fire Nation. They're sort of distributing weapons and secrets, and they're trading them back and forth. What the Chens get and what the Fire Nation gets in response is unclear, but definitely they're working to mutual benefits in this whole situation, which is not great.
It's not what you want out of your legacy family,
No.
really. Yeah, your what do you call it?
And what else did we learn? feel like I'm missing one other important thing. I can't recall.
Those two were the key things.
Those are the big ones for sure.
We have help from another lower rank minister.
Yes, Minister Tang
Yeah.
is someone who works for the agrarian zone, who is willing to help you with your quest to do something about the Ruby Jasmine, which, yes, Justice revealed to Delight. This is what I was forgetting, that this is part of a plan to sort of pacify the population so that when the Fire Nation comes back, they can just open the gates, people won't fight back, and they can change over the city's ownership without any bloodshed. It's sort of Minister Li Zhang's plan. And how far that plan goes, how far this conspiracy goes, is unclear, but certainly the Chen family and Li Zhang are collaborating to some degree on it. So
I'm sure this plan will result in nothing extreme like tanks in the streets in the future or anything. It'll work out great.
no. The walls will never fall. It'll be fine. There will be no revolutions. There is no revolution in Ba Sing Se. So with all of that in the eggshell, there's a couple places we could go with this. I think it's been a day, probably not that long, since this whole thing happened, because you do have to, you probably would want to meet up and share information at some
Definitely,
point.
yes.
Yeah. So maybe for the evening, things have cleared up, and we'll pick up the next morning. So everyone, if you had any fatigue, go ahead and clear 3 fatigue, at least.
Fatigue is not my problem.
Yeah, you've got your conditions and your balance track is shifting around now. And let's see. Actually, let's quickly figure out where Chi and Jian would have spent the night. Because Feng Ma has made it. It's been a couple days that you've been in Ba Sing Se now. I think 3 days probably. You've learned a lot in those 3 days. We're working on cartoon time. It's a little abstracted.
It's been a very busy couple of days.
Of days, right? But I think Feng Ma has made it clear that you cannot stay on their couch anymore. As much as they would like to help out. So what would you have done? Where would you go?
I think, for us two, I think we would probably have worked something out with Quan, with one of the extra servants' quarters or something like that, and we just stay on the property,
staying within the compound. Yeah,
within the compound, because or maybe there's just an extra prison that has 2 beds that we can just hang out in for a bit.
I could see Quan hooking you up with a spare set of bunks somewhere.
I mean,
If
it
Delight,
might not be 100%
knew,
legitimate.
If Delight knew you're still kicking around, they would invite you to stay with them. But
right.
I don't know. I think we're still.
It's probably like a servant's quarter, a room that's not been used in a while.
Yeah.
Quan's we don't need to tell anyone that you're here. Just if they find out that you're here, we can explain it.
I mean,
forgiveness.
In episode 2, we did the meme of the place is so big that it's ridiculous. So
yeah. So this probably
makes sense that there's
a wing that's not currently in use or whatever, and we're staying in one of the side rooms there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in the servant bit, none of the family is gonna notice. They're not gonna go there.
Right.
Yep.
So we find you kind of creaking your way up out of these not particularly comfortable cots. They're very rudimentary, right? These quarters haven't been used in a long time. Everyone else has their rooms. This is sort of maybe a spare guard room or something. And they're just we don't need anyone down over in this area right now. That's fine. So that's the sheets are paper thin. The cots are sort of like sleeping on 2x4s. It's not great, but it's somewhere to stay. And in the morning, what do you do? Because people don't know that you're here. In theory, like you have your clothing, but Delight is not here to doll you up and make you look, like you belong at a fancy party.
I need to talk to Delight. Wait, where is Delight?
I agree.
All I know is that giant dining room.
Oh,
You've been to her quarters.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, we have.
oh yeah,
Never
but it's like a
mind.
maze. We've only been shown once around
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah.
You know what? This is a spear servants or soldiers area, right? I think. So, I mean, the only best way we could do is find her, and here are some outfits. No one questions if we just walk around.
Yeah, guard stuff.
That could work.
Yeah, I mean, this is a spare guard room. There's definitely like some old uniforms that you could throw on.
That did work really well at the gauntlet. Yeah, let's try that again.
Yeah. I will go ahead, pick open it up.
Yep, dust.
Oh, dust.
A couple of moths flutter around.
Yeah.
Right?
Try to
It's
find
I can
them.
see the animation cell, like you
Yeah.
open it up and poof, you're just covered in dust. Yeah, but you brush them off and you can throw on what's there and make your way out of the quarters. Presumably stowing your other clothes with you somewhere, like in bags or
Jan's probably fairly
Whatever.
comfortable because this is like probably has a military style to it, but then with more flair.
yeah.
It's
So
like,
the
I know
Chen
this kind of stuff.
Yeah, the Chen guard outfits, I think, have they reflect their sort of militaristic tendencies, even if they're like currently branching into it. Maybe they had some connections in the past, and obviously these are cut for action. So even if they're not like full-on soldiers' uniforms, they're definitely something that Gian is 100% used to. What is familiar about this that makes you the most comfortable when you put this uniform on, Gian?
Probably that it has like the layers of protection that like he's used to being in when he's in danger. Like when he was missing some of that, it's probably like got a nice. It's probably got like a hood and shoulders kind of piece that he didn't have anymore, and just seems safer in case of emergency that way. Not that he's expecting anything, but he's worried. I mean, yesterday the place was attacked, so he's like, there's a possibility, but it's probably gonna be fine. But it's nice to have.
Yeah, and this is the first time I think that you've worn armor the entire time that we've seen you in game, right? Because you had like most of your kit was thrown off because you were like had whatever you ran off the field with. So now we see you like putting on like the chest piece, the shoulders, the arm guards, the vambraces, the helmet, right? And like clicking it all in. I think there's like a little montage of you like suiting up, and by the time you're finished, like you look like a soldier.
Yeah,
Like this feels
Stan's
like
just a little bit straighter.
Yeah, right. There's like a confidence, I think, that we haven't seen before, which is really cool. And so you make your way through the hallways. Seeing Gian like armored up, right? And like with this change in personality, what does that look like for Chi? How does Chi respond to that? And are you comfortable wearing this outfit?
Oh, I am fidgeting a lot, but I just take a moment and be like, I think you're meant for this profession. They look good. Look your back straighter, just give a tonk. Ooh. Set it up. How did you put it on so fast? That's very. Is this right? I think I got it backwards. It doesn't look quite like.
You gotta do this bit here. I'm like reaching in and like turning something around.
Yeah, we have that cool montage of you suiting up and you stand up straight, right? And then you hear like from behind, I think you're meant for this. And then Gian turns around,
Pan over.
and there's that little like kind of sad horn as we see she's like got the chest plate on backwards or whatever, right? Like you're trying to fidget and stuff on.
Poor Chi.
Yeah, but you get there. So you start walking through the house, looking for Delight. Where is Delight in the house right now? You spent the night in your quarters, obviously.
Yeah.
Or maybe you didn't.
I actually don't think that Delight has been sleeping. I think that Delight has been hard at work in her like ad hoc workshop. Trying to make sure that she's ready for whatever's coming next, because she knows there's big news and there's big dramatic stuff going on. And I think she's the kind of person who, like, when she's nervous, she needs to be doing something. You know, she has like that sort of restless energy. So it's been all like, she's returned to her natural state of like comfortable clothes and grease stains. And has been working on her like little launcher thing for the last like probably the whole night, to be honest. Like time just like phases past her. I imagine wherever she is, it's probably like this like work area is probably just like it's probably just her quarters, to be honest. Because I can't imagine she's allowed to spread out with this stuff necessarily. So yeah, if the other two can find their way back there, that's probably where she is. I think she's like just finishing something up and sort of feeling satisfied looking at this like big chunky like pistol thing that she's got. Sort of putting it away at this point, and getting ready to like head out herself somewhere to find them, probably, you know. And that's probably where she is.
So maybe it's a moment of you open the door and you take a step out as the two of them are coming up, and there's guards pointed outside the door too. Obviously, they've been there all night. So there's a sort of a bumbling moment as the two guards at the door are like, all right, someone's coming out. That's fine. And the two of you are coming down the hallway, and you practically bump into Delight. What do you do?
Oh, there you are.
She's like averting her gaze from the guards, like that are coming down the hallway. And then when you're like, oh, there you are, she's like, what? Great. Yeah, come with me. Like, like moves into a sort of like side room, off the hall, and looks as if she's about to rail off a explanation of like what we need to do right now.
Oh, are the other two guards still there? At the moment?
Yeah, the other two guards are standing there, and they're like, as you like grab the two of them.
Commander Kwan
everything all right, lady?
asked me. Commander Kwan asked us to relieve you both.
Well, I didn't hear anything like that. Did you hear anything from Commander Kwan? No, Commander Kwan hasn't passed on.
Well, that's why I'm telling you, because Commander Kwan, correct? And I'll kind of signal to John, be like, what's the code? Like, kind of like the visual, like, I don't know how to speak soldier, please help.
I think it's just like a squint, right? And like clearly like I'm dying here. Like there's a quaver in your voice, maybe. Yeah.
Help.
That's right. We should have got some kind of confirmation. He's new. We'll just follow Delight's orders.
Yeah. Okay. Chi, because you were the one to instigate this. I think it's a great idea. Go ahead and I think you're trying to trick these people.
Yes.
Roll with creativity.
Ooh, God. All right, I got it. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good.
Yes.
12.
Yes.
Nice.
So
good. All right. So with your 10 plus, you get 2. Would you like for them to stumble, and you get a bonus for doing further moves against them? They act foolishly and give you an opportunity, or they overcommit and they are deceived for some time.
Overcommit. I
Yep.
want to overcommit.
Cool. And you get a second one.
I feel. John, do you want to, or I guess I'm the only one. Could you want to think which one do you want to add? Should they be foolish
You can
or should
solicit
we?
input for sure.
I
What move was it
guess
again?
we'll.
They can either take
Trick.
+1 forward to acting against them, or they can act foolishly, and I will tell you what additional opportunity they give you.
Maybe act foolishly.
I don't think we need to. I don't think we need to worry about the +1 forward. So yeah.
Right. If they're going to be deceived, then that if you choose that, and that's fine, that tells me that you want to do some more stuff with them, or the scene might need to be extended. But it seems like this is just we need to get you to go somewhere else. So they you. I think because it's implied that you're helping here, Gian. Gian is like, yes, Gian has the cut of a soldier, knows the protocol, knows how to give and take orders. It's like, no, it's fine, whatever. Just here, we have the protocol, trust, blah, blah, blah. And they buy it. They're like, oh, yeah, all right, well, just make sure you get it in writing next time.
Of course.
We understand we're a little on edge after the altercation last night. And they start to head off. And I think as they head off, you catch some of their conversation, which will give you an additional opportunity. And I think, let me turn it back to you. What kinds of opportunities are you interested in pursuing in this moment?
Ooh, in this moment of.
Or kind of as a follow-up, what's a thread that you want to pick up on?
It's probably learning more about the details of the shenanigans the Chen family are up to. If that's even something that will be revealed. Something else.
I think that's something they could probably do. Yeah, let's do it this way. I think what they do is they head off and they're like, well, so what are we supposed to do? I'm not going back to the barracks and playing cards for another couple hours while we wait for someone to pick up the shift. I know that, of course. Listen, let's go check out the storehouses. Let's make sure that the shipments are in place. There's probably no it's early enough in the morning that nobody else is going to be watching that stuff. And Master Song is going to be very upset if no one has eyes on the packages. So the opportunity they're giving you is they kind of imply where you might find a storage depot, and also that it's not going to be guarded at this point in the day very well. Because I think it's it's not early morning, but it's early enough that the full force is not running. And they head off.
It's like a narrowing of eyes and hang on a minute.
And yes, we'll as soon as they're out of eye shot, that spare room that Delight was trying to show us to, I just started suddenly running and
Go.
shove people in.
Yeah.
And then make sure everything's clear. Look around in this room really quick because I'm just a little. Delight.
Yes.
Okay, I was joking earlier, but I legitimately think your family might be evil. That's the best way I can put it. That's ripping off the band-aid. I'm so sorry. This is how we're gonna talk. But
Delight pauses for a second,
those people we captured, they're selling. They said that your family are selling weapons to the Fire Nation. And it's that was too loud.
she's doing like a inner monologue calculation, trying to reassess what she's gonna say, because she was ready to like spout similar stuff back at you, you know. She says, I spoke to Justice, and he kind of confirmed that. I didn't get all the details, but that does sound like what he was saying. But he doesn't want to do that anymore. I managed to convince him. And we just have to figure out a way to stop whatever's going on. You know, she says like she's been tired, you know, like working on something and just like generally sort of like overwhelmed by bad news about her relatives, you know.
Is it Justice's idea, or is it your dad's idea?
I think that my father thinks that he's doing the right thing for the safety of his family and the city, but I would say that he's mistaken in this particular instance.
We were just having to worry about the Earth Kingdom pretending there wasn't a war. Never mind actually helping the war. We have to stop this immediately.
Well, I can think of a couple of options. Most of them are, well, a little difficult, but since I've been granted responsibility now, I'm sure we could get a look at whatever secret stores were being mentioned and maybe stop them from going anywhere.
We have to if we can.
Yes. I mean, well, hold on. I just really take a look at Delight. Delight just looks super disheveled as all heck, right?
she's just like, she's clearly been awake all night, you know. She's like, you know, when you're just like distracted by bad news, you know, and it's like taking up a lot of your thought like process.
All right, she's just gonna take a breath really quick. Got a little overexcited because we've been sneaking around this place. All right, actually, Delight, I know this is probably like a lot of info to just kind of discover this. This is not. Are you okay?
She like sighs with like a big shoulder slump. It's gonna be okay. It has to be. If that means I have to change it myself, then I will. But it's not easy. I didn't think my family was capable of all of this, and well, you learn things, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in either case, like when family's kind of complicated. Maybe you go into things with good intentions, trying to better yourself, but sometimes there's no options to be a good person, and you disappoint your family in some sort of way or another. But as long as you're still alive, you can change like your family's opinion or change their mind in some way. I understand. Just reach out my hand. I understand about maybe being on the other side of disappointments to families.
Yeah, well, right now, I mean, I'm the one that's kind of disappointed.
Well, I guess the first thing to do is to confirm, because right now this is just like hearsay of another person. And then once confirmed, yeah.
Justice basically confirmed it. It's not. I would trust that my brother is not making up such egregious claims about the family.
All right. So, I guess, yeah, the first thing we do is just, I guess, that storehouse, or whatever the other guys were saying. So, people guards.
Sounds like those two guards will be there, but maybe we can sneak by them. Storehouse is big, only 2 guards, can't cover much.
I'm just thinking maybe we could try and do this in a more official capacity. Like I could get Justice to like show us in, or because he's on our side now, and he has access to all of this stuff and like knows where things are and or what might be useful to know about, or I'm just thinking.
Well, we don't know how. Yeah.
Are you sure he's on our side? Because if we go in there, we need to destroy that stuff, or at least stop it getting out of here.
She takes a moment to like think it over, and then says, "No, okay, I can do this. We'll. I know where the sort of off limits places are in this place, in the compound, places they haven't let me go. Just give me a second. We'll go back to my room. I'll just tidy up a little bit, and then we'll go. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
So she like, it's very nearby her room. For here, she heads over back to her room and sifts through her wardrobe a little for something that will look appropriately like official military vibes, the sort of thing she's seen her brother wear or like her father wear in like, when they've been trying to get into sort of like the military circles and stuff. And I've expanded my background to include military now.
Yeah.
With my upgrade. Because I took the upgrade that gives me an extra skill set, like an extra training and an extra background. So I think the attire that she comes out with, is very much like the art of her that exists very close to somewhere nearby. And she looks like a lot more put together. She's like clearly like brushed her hair, and just like generally looks like she's taking on new responsibilities, as you would, try and look that way after the official party.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't go great.
You have your own sort of like montage of suiting up, and there is definitely a difference in how you are like drawn and animated in this moment of like, hey, maybe I have a little more gravitas here.
Yes, confidence, gravitas, a little she looks a little older,
Yeah.
Leaning into that tradition.
Yeah. I mean, she's already off balance by 1 towards tradition.
Yeah.
So. She like meets back up with the two of you like outside, because I assume you've been doing guard things.
Guard things.
Yeah.
Position usually.
Yeah, positions. And she says, "Okay, come with me. We'll try and get access, I guess."
All right.
And she just like marches off down one of the halls and like goes down a flight of stairs, and like, there's sort of like a travel montage through a couple of hallways and so forth, and eventually we get to like, the door she hasn't been allowed to like go through, even though she's a Chen previously, with like whatever guards are on duty.
I think yeah, there's a couple of guards for sure to make sure that this is a secure area. I think they need some kind of proof that, like, just because you're a Chen doesn't mean that you can go
No,
through it,
of course,
right?
yeah.
So what do you do to convince them that you can pass?
So I think this is a matter of it's probably a matter of just like trying to like be sort of intimidating, but
Mhm.
like also I'm not sure if I want to go like softer than that, maybe.
You could I think if you like show your credentials or like flash like a badge
Can
or something
I
like
okay
that.
here's the question. Can I
Yeah.
assess the situation to see what I would need to ask some questions about like what the right move here is?
Yeah, like what would you need to pass, right? Because this is
Yeah,
the first
like,
time that you've
what
had
do
to
I
do
know
this.
about what do I know about like what justice would do, or like, you know, like just generally like feel it out, you know?
Yeah, I think that is, yeah, that sounds like assessing, because it's like this is not the easiest way to through. I was tempted to say rely on your skills and training, but you might need to do that as a result of assessing.
I might need to do that as a result of assessing.
Right.
Yeah,
So go ahead and roll
nice.
with your creativity to take it in, because like
Yeah.
these guards are like, it's not just that they're guards, but they're also on edge because
11.
assassins
Cool.
have just tried to break into the house itself. But you're
I just wanna-
good. So you get 2 questions.
I want to roll more creativity, you know?
Yeah, that's your whole
how I'm
thing.
feeling, that's how I'm feeling.
That's how you roll.
So I mean, obviously, I think the easiest way to do this would be to ask like, what's the best way out / in / through?
Yeah. The best way
um,
through is right.
yeah.
And what's your other question that you want?
And what here can I use to gain access past these guards?
Okay, cool.
Like, feel free to say like you have something on you or whatever, you know, like obviously. But...
Yeah, I think the uniform, we'll do it that way. The uniform that you have probably has something. So like there's this door. I think it's this big stone thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, because we've established that Chens have some earthbending capabilities. But not everyone within the Chen family is an earthbender. You need to have something official that'll let you pass. But I think your best way through is in the middle of the door. You notice there is a hole carved, like a relief carved into the stone that has the Chen family logo on it. So it's that earthbending pyramid and then the inverted cave. And you remember that Justice like would touch the doorway, like not just like repeat like a family phrase that you know, but also like, I have present this item, right? And so what you can use to get through is, I think it's like an Iron Man style chest plate on your uniform that is like a stone disc that has the logo on it. And so you just like click it out of your chest plate and clunk.
Yeah, so this like memory sort of,
it's like,
right,
activates.
Like,
yeah,
you know, take out this, look at the guards and be like, you know, I have the thing, touch the thing to the door, and then sort of move as officially as I can, like I don't even care that they're there. And of course I have my escort, you know,
you
like,
belong here, right?
Yeah,
I think so. To blend in here, that will be relying on your skills and training, because they're on edge, and this is the first time that you're coming through here. Because they look at you like,
I'm willing to do that.
That's with focus.
Let's rely on my skills and training. No,
no.
I fail.
That's
He's
too low for any assistance
okay.
to help.
Dang it.
Or...
All right. So I don't think it's interesting if they don't let you through. But what do I want to do here?
I mean-
so you're there. They stop you. Let's sort of set it up, and we'll see.
Okay,
how
so
the
I like
consequences-
touch the object to the door, and I look to them like, "Hey, I'm gonna go through," and then they're like, wait, no."
Just a moment,
Yeah.
Lady Delight. As you know, things are. We are on high alert because of the attempt on your brother's life.
Well, I was told that after the party that I'd be taking on more responsibilities. My brother and my father said that I'd be involved, and I thought the best way to do that would be to, like, she's like explaining herself in a way that's like, why are you stopping me? I don't get it.
Right, like you're approaching me about this. Like what?
Like I'm me. Don't stop me.
Right. And what do we you've said that this beyond this is like a way out or a way through to sort of the restricted areas?
Yeah,
Right.
this is like the choke point between places that I imagine people are. It's probably like the because we were talking about there's like an underground portion of the compound, right? This is
Right,
probably
yeah.
like the access to that sort of like secreter area. of-
Yes.
of the Chen.
Okay. I think
I know I've
The-
thrown you a curveball here.
no, I like it. I'm trying to think of like what's the most fictionally interesting thing that happens as a result of this. They okay. You're like, what? why are you stopping me? And I think that the guard is like, with respect, this is circumstances are different. I know that you want to take charge, but I have orders from the top that you are not allowed to. And I think from below the from down the hall, you hear it's all right, let her pass, as Song
Okay.
comes down the
shit!
hallway.
Oh no.
And comes up and stands next to you. It's like,
And I think she straightens up a little, and like she's still playing the like role here, and like nods to her father in a like respectful sort of like, thank you, father. I was trying to explain to them.
yes, I'm sure you were, and I'm sure that they will ensure that this does not happen again. I don't know if you were in attendance last night, but when my daughter tells you she needs to go somewhere, you afford her the same respect that you afford me. Is that understood?
Oh, no.
And they're like, yes, my lord, of course. And you click in the stone, and he like gestures to you to like, go ahead. What are Jian and she doing? Because you're
Yeah.
standing here in your guard
I just
uniforms.
lots of nonverbal cues looking.
Just act normal. Everything's fine.
I feel like there's a lot of the like sweat drop action happening,
Yeah.
Like,
It's fine. He's the
There's like a
the house.
high-pitched
He won't know the
string.
faces of his own guards. We just have to
He
look
doesn't-
Yes.
official.
look official.
Right.
Just a lot of internal screaming going on. It's great.
Mhm. I see you've chosen your honor guard.
they're
What's
they're very loyal, and I've seen them a lot around, and she sort of nods and like just keeps kind of like opens the door, like walks through and is acting like everything is normal. This is what I
Yep.
was gonna do today anyway. My father being here isn't our problem.
And so he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna walk with you. So you
Okay,
you pass through, and as you pass through, he takes a couple steps, and you're walking in awkward silence for like a couple seconds,
Yeah.
and he sort of turns to Jian and Chi, And he's like, so if you're going to be attached to my daughter along with Agent Jenya, I'd like to know that you're up to the task. You'll forgive me if I'm a little speculative, but personal judges of character are one thing. I need to make sure that everyone in my employ is capable of doing what needs to be done. So, tell me, what qualifications do you have that you will keep my daughter's life safe?
This is the moment. All right.
Delight gives you a look that's like, I can't help you here. You have
Master Song. I guess I go with whatever the movie, like I've seen plays before.
Yeah.
And I do this Master Song. What's the just out of character? Do I know what I remember what the guards were calling Quan when they came in? Like,
yes, they called her Agent.
Agent Quan personally chose us for our particular skills. If you allow me to demonstrate, me and of course my colleague here will show you what we can do. And I just kind of like,
oh god,
and then oh god. So I'll just kind of like look around. Is there like certain like banners and stuff
I think we're in like a sort of a tunnel for a couple seconds before you go down into the lower areas.
Of course.
So yeah, there's banners and
of course, yeah, you gotta have like the drapery sort of
braziers with like roaring flame.
My knife throwy and cut those banners down really like just like really quick. That's a signal.
So you're just gonna like do some cool moves.
Cool moves. Show off.
Cool moves.
It works.
I love this.
I also love this.
Oh god, please roll good. What is this gonna
I feel like you're pushing your luck to convince him.
Yes. All right.
Like you are using your knives for sure.
Yes.
You're like, and you're using this is something that you've practiced before. Actually, we've seen you do this on camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
This exact move. This is what you did in the print shop. Maybe that's relying on your skills and training more.
Okay.
So roll with your focus. As the bold, that may be worse for you. I don't know.
Okay.
But go for it.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
I believe.
Big success.
Okay. All right.
So it's cool. It looks cool. On a hit, you do it. On a 7 and 9, you do it imperfectly. I will tell you how your approach might lead to unexpected consequences, which you must accept or mark a fatigue.
When you say do it imperfectly, I'm just imagining Song doing like to like avoid one of them.
I think that's what it is. It's like you do it so suddenly because you're so good at this, right? You're like you were a knife fighter. You're good at ambushing people. I think you startle Song with how like much the knives fly by. I think like you're gonna like cut off like part of his clothing or something, like a feather or something, or like cut the edge, just the edge of his like robe.
Maybe not. Maybe I'll take a fatigue.
Take that fatigue, right?
Cut.
So like have the control, like you see it, and maybe you like nudge him a little bit or something, or you telegraph it otherwise.
Yes.
Maybe one of the two of like Gian or Cheap like pulls you back. So you throw these knives out, and the daggers stick into the wall, right?
Yeah. Like the banners that are just like perfectly just to look really cool.
Gently like fall to the ground, and he like stops in his tracks and looks at you like fully up and down. Like, I don't recall that on the training regimen.
Agent Quan said that she saw something in us that, of course, for Delight being the unique ward, or Master Delight being the unique ward she is, that we would most serve her.
And he takes a second where you're not sure if he's buying it, because he doesn't change his facial expression this entire time. And then he just nods curtly, like, it's good that Agent Jenya understands in these times people with unorthodox skills are quite useful. If you were able to adapt to any dangerous situation in the same way, I dare say there is a future for you among our house agents. And he just nods.
Thank you.
What's Gian doing this whole
Yeah.
time?
Well, he's letting G have the turn and being like, okay, that's gone well. I don't have to cover. It's just.
But yeah.
he's covering for himself. And then.
Thank you for those kind words. But my talent is nothing compared to my partner here.
Oh no!
Jen's gonna no. I mean, he's got earthbending up his sleeve. He can make some use of that.
That's true.
Yeah, Jen's gonna make a play here and see how this goes.
Okay.
So he's gonna turn to Song and make a bow and like whatever the right gesture is, and he'll allow his military training to kind of dictate some of that. He's gonna let that show.
Oh yeah.
And so he's gonna do whatever kind of maybe salute or whatever would be involved, and say, prior to my employment, I received a military training from a Commander Chen. I'm not sure if he's a relation, but just in case. Either way, he was an excellent
Chen.
teacher.
And he nods, and he sort of strokes his chin for a couple seconds, and he says, there was a Commander Chen stationed at Luwan Village. I wonder, did you serve there?
I did receive my training there. It is unfortunate, but I believe he befell a certain accident shortly after my training. It's a shame. He was a great man.
He looks at you very intently, because Commander Chen died in the attack on the village? Or disappeared?
We don't know.
What happened? We don't know.
Yeah.
Let's flash back to that moment. Yeah. So Luwan Village is where you grew up, right? And that's where you were raised, and that's where you were trained, and it was burned to the ground by the Fire Nation. So I think the moment that we see in the flashback is the village is on fire, right? There are ships in the bay, because it's on the coast, that are launching fireballs onto the coastline. There are soldiers that have made their way on. I think they're dropping. One of the ships has landed and is dropping a tank, and is rolling it out. And Commander Chen is yelling orders like, "You men, I want you on the front lines over there." And then blah, 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 and he turns to you, and Gian, are you all right?
Jean's I'm ready. I'm ready to fight, sir. Whatever you need.
You and I, we're going to hold this line. No one's going to get past us.
All right.
Think you can do that, soldier?
Yes, sir. I form up next to him.
And you drop into your fighting stances. I think there's a montage of the you repelling some soldiers, and then something happens, a fireball comes crashing down, separating the two of you. So you can see the two of you between divided by flames, and Chen yells at you from across the flames, like, "Go on! There's civilians over here I need to rescue. Go on without me."
All right. Are you gonna be okay?
If this is where I die, and I do it defending the honor of the Earth Kingdom, save your people, John.
All right.
Tell
sir.
everyone what happened here today.
I
And
will.
he like disappears into the flames. And so we don't know where he went or what happened or anything like that. And you're like, he was a great man, blah 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 blah. Because inside Bossing say the war doesn't exist. I think Commander Song Chen is like, when you say he was a great man, he like winces. Far be it from me to speak ill of family relations. My nephew had misguided ideas about the future of the kingdom. I hope that didn't reflect poorly on your training.
I suppose you can be the judge of that, sir.
And he nods expectantly.
And I'll step out to do my demonstration.
Yeah, demonstrate. What do you do?
And he's just gonna show off his best earthbending while trying not to cause damage. Like,
Right.
Like, is this place he steps out into, does it have like an earth floor?
Yeah, I think we're like approaching the mouth of the like way down, like the stairs. So there's plenty of stonework that you can mess around with.
The great thing about earthbending is you can always just put it back.
Yeah, right.
No, exactly.
Let me pick up some flagstones and then drop them back in.
So yeah, he's gonna like go to one end of the space and he's going to like kick up a wall. Like it probably takes
Yeah.
like a few kicks because he wants a fairly it's barrier. So it's like stomp
Boom,
to like
boom.
raise this thing until it's in place. And then he steps back and he starts like pulling up blocks and like kicking them at this wall and all that kind of thing. And it's gonna be kind of like going through like drill exercises, like stuff like a sequence that he's practiced kind of thing.
Yeah,
where like he tries
it's a
like
kata,
each
right.
different like move and just like in a kind of sequence. So it's very kind of regimented and like he's probably even seen demonstrations like this before. So it becomes like a comparison to previous attempts.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like kick up a big block and then it's like a small one and then like a few at once and that kind of thing, and just showing off all the different ways of throwing a block at an enemy, really, and the
Right.
occasional like barrier raise and stuff.
Yeah,
Full
you've
to
got
parry.
you've got like that proper military training next to Cheese. Like, I throw some knives.
What's up? Right, my ambush. Go ahead and rely on your skills and training, I think, for sure.
All right.
I love the difference between the two of them, like proper earthbending kata and knives.
Nice.
10.
Oh.
Nice.
It looks so cool. You do it with no consequences. I think it's perfect. The perfect execution of like step, kick, block up, launch block, turn, launch barrier, block smashes into barrier, swivel around like someone else is coming at you. Nope, barrier up. And when the dust clears, Song blows a bit of the dust away, and then step by step earth bends the blocks back into place, like all of the like smooths out the earth. And you like his form is very traditional. I think like this is a sort of a style that is been you've seen it demonstrated by some of like the older commanders and stuff like that, but it's like a very even then it's very stylized. Like he uses it not for the battlefield, but there's sort of like a showiness to it in a way. So even though it's like this is the old form, he's still like trying, there's a little performance in it.
I also imagine that like the kind of moves he's pulling off are the kind of things Zhang can't do. It's like I can bring up a block and I can fire it at something. I can't like pull dirt back into a nice flat shape again. So he's probably a bit worried, like, I've made a mess now. I mean, I can bring the wall back down, but everything else is all over the place. I can't put this back together.
Right, but he smooths it out. It's like nothing was out of place. And when he finishes, he sort of dusts himself off and he kind of looks back to you. Form 17, executed perfectly.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad to see that there is still respect for the old ways, even among the misguided.
Oh, so many slaps.
Gritted teeth, trying to maintain straight face. How dare you?
You do not serve Commander Chen anymore. You serve me and my daughter. I know that you will do us proud.
I think it was very impressive.
And like, his head doesn't move, but his eyes dart towards you for a second, and like an eyebrow is raised, and then he just gestures down the stairs.
Yeah, onward into the secret
Into the
area,
darkness.
while the main antagonist, or one of them, I guess, is with
Yeah.
us. Yeah, great.
I just fall in behind and try and act casual, but not too casual.
Very good.
So this is
You
a part of the
just-
compound.
You just know we're gonna run into like Gion's nemesis down here or some shit. It's gonna get
Just
real
chilling.
nasty. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a part of the compound you have not seen before.
No, yeah.
Any of you, right? We've seen some of the underground tunnels. Obviously, they're not even like
They're not,
tunnels.
like-
It's just like a basement, obviously. But this is now we're entering sort of like supervillain layer territory.
Yeah.
What for Delight? What about this whole new area of rooms and spaces is like fundamentally different than the way
I think
the
it's
above ground is?
so I think it's the like the sort of almost like sparse militaristic display of like private power, right? The symbols of the Earth Kingdom aren't here. These are Chen,
Yeah.
you know, like very like Chen specific, like sort of like banners and sort of displays. This is like very private, but also like very like almost like braggadocious, you know, like we are the power here, sort of a thing. But that also that it, you know, there's no natural light coming in from anywhere, and that it's all like lit up by fire and like sort of whatever other like green stone and that those kinds of things. And so it's cast in this very like grim lighting, you know, almost.
I
It's
think
like
it looks like the Matrix. You know, like everything has that green filter.
Yeah, there's like a green filter on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's all those green glowing crystals and fire, and so there's this kind of like weird interaction in the areas where it's both of
Yeah,
like kind of the red,
like weird
the
light
green.
flickering, and
yeah, everything's a little like glowy. It's very otherworldly.
And you know the fire is just here for any visitors who might be firebenders. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh,
one of
yes.
those things.
Oh.
It's like it's
There
like
is an
you-
implication for
Yeah,
sure.
there's an implication when it comes to like big braziers full of fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of what it is, you know. And she looks a little unnerved, like walking through the area, but she's looking for anything that, like, she's keeping her eyes out for anything that they might need to come back to without song, like on their on their trail, you know, like.
I want to deal with this without.
We can't exactly sabotage things while my father is standing next to me. And I'm assuming he's going to have some talk about responsibility and about like the secrets that you've been afforded and all that other stuff. So
Yeah,
I don't want to step on his toes, you know, when it comes to that. He did help me out get through the door, but
for
yeah,
sure.
While
you're walking down, he's giving you this whole talk about like, now that you are of age, we must understand that the Chens are the foundation upon which Ba Sing Se is built, and blah blah blah. And he just like goes on this long spiel about it.
And I think there's a lot of like quiet agreement, but that like that's unusual for her in like Song's experience, you know?
Yeah.
Like usually she'd be like, but why? You know? But in this moment, it's just like easier to just agree. Like we're in the secret doomsday tunnels. Like I can't. It's a bad place for me to be like, no.
Right. Roll with your creativity. I think you're assessing the situation here.
Okay, situation. Here we go. Creativity going for 12. Yeah.
Okay. What 2 questions would you like to ask?
Okay, so let's ask what here can I use to prevent weapons being moved to the Fire Nation?
Okay. Yes. I think as you're walking around, like this is I think it's full on like supervillain layer. Yeah, for sure. So like there are rooms within rooms, there's like checkpoints occasionally where everyone has to flash.
I'm imagining like big warehouse area with like like a stone gantry, you know, like
exactly. Yeah, you come into one of these areas that's like a shipping. It looks like a distribution warehouse, and so we've got like those tall like wire racks, effectively, that are made of wood that have crates loaded onto them and boxes and stuff, and they're laborers who are moving them onto earthbending powered conveyor belts, and they like, you know, they have their hands on the devices that push the like stone tiles along, and they're like kind of rolling them out, and they look like they go into like chutes that are dropped like further down, and I think it's implied that they go to like somewhere else, then they are carried to a drop-off point. So if you wanted to stop the weapons from going out, you would have to sabotage those belts.
Yeah,
basically.
okay. So like that would be the thing to do. Got it.
That's probably like that's the most direct way within this area
way
that you can see, is like this is where stuff is being passed out for sure. I think there's also like some things that are not just that. Like there's probably a transit. I think there's like a cargo elevator that is earthbending powered, of course, because everything is cool and fantasy. Where there's like simple carts that are pulled by those chicken ostrich
ostrich horses.
Ostrich horses. Yeah. That are like designed. You've seen these around. They're designed to look like messenger carts or like innocuous travel transit stuff that people wouldn't notice, but they would be able to go out of the city walls and no one would notice them, basically. So if you could sabotage like the way up or the carts, or like what those carts look like too. So if you ambush those, that could be a way to deal with it. So that's you're kind of getting an idea of the different ways in which they're distributed. Things are being shipped.
And my other question is, like, what should I be on the lookout for? Is there something that I haven't noticed that I should notice?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be some dangers down here. Oh, of course, we're doing a Ba Sing Se game. We haven't done this yet. As you're walking, there are a handful of people in wide-brimmed conical hats with dark uniforms and what look like heavy, like stone gloves, who are talking to people and overseeing a few things. They're sort of like having a discussion with not the workers, with some of the guards. And I think they're on the catwalk with you, right? So you have to walk past them. And the song stops them and turns to you and says, now that you are closer to the family business, it is only proper that we introduce you to the Dai Li.
Good. Yes, the Dai Li. Wonderful. Delight sort of like nods and says like, I suppose.
They are, as you well know, enforcement of laws within the city.
And they're involved in our business?
They're here on routine inspections to make sure that things go smoothly. We would not want anything happening here to be written up. We want to make sure that everything the Chen family does operates above board. They're here for compliance.
I think at this point she like looks at Song and says, so you're working with the Minister of Morale then? We are?
They I think one of the Dai Li is like, I beg your pardon, my lady, we do not answer to the Minister of Morale.
My apologies. I just made the assumption.
We are obviously at the beck and call of those who need us, the people of Ba Sing Se, who we serve. But
yes.
Our ultimate orders come down from the Grand Secretariat.
Of course. Forgive me, I'm still getting a hang of all the various titles and I don't know much about the Dai Li. She's
yeah, right.
Like
and the agent is like not mean about it. He's just like, it is understandable. The web of politics in Ba Sing Se is quite complex. I'm sure with time you will come to understand the way things are done.
Of course, and I endeavor to do so.
And Song is like, we have taken too much of your time.
Yeah.
And like gestures, and they pass on.
That's gonna make any action here very difficult.
Yup. Oh, now we keep going up and further up this pyramids that we are discovering. I guess she's just kind of like eyes very wide, but also trying to.
I sort of feel like there's a whisper from Delight to like her friends, like trying to avoid like when Song is distracted or talking about something or like just
right.
kind of not paying attention. Do the the animated show side whisper.
Exactly.
And just say like, I don't know if we're gonna be able to do anything here. It's not a lot of opportunity, like.
Yeah, I think you see those 2 guards that are down there, and they're like just patrolling, the same 2 guards from before.
Oh yeah.
But there are also like a handful of Daily who are down here, and it does seem like they're not guarding, but they are here on inspection. And so they're just like milling about.
Yes, very little guards, huh? Yeah.
Stay cool and learn.
It just like goes back to like listening to songs, explanations, or what have you.
Right. So it's like go ahead.
There's one point where she does like through this little like tour. There's one point where she does say like, Father, I'm interested in why we would do this. Why work with the Fire Nation instead of just defending the Earth Kingdom?
He he fully stops, I think, because like he hasn't said anything out loud about it per se.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is like a I know you know kind of moment. Or he stops and thinks. You can see he's thinking very hard about how he wants to respond. I think in the point where we stop is like at a T junction.
Yeah.
Right. And on like you're in front of these just massive black and gold banners that have the Chen symbols on them, not the Earth Kingdom symbols, the Chen family symbols. There's a brazier in the middle of like this roaring flame. You've got the green light coming from the outside. So there's sort of like a bunch of thematic touchstones here, and he's like illuminated by the fire, and he sort of so he responds, I raised you well enough that it's clear you've done your research. And I'm glad to see that you understand the true nature of things. Why? The Chen family have always been a part of Ba Sing Se. And no matter what happens, we will always be a part of Ba Sing Se. What we are doing is securing a future. We are ensuring that we will remain where we have always been, at the foundation of all things, ensuring that the city is maintained and our family is protected. Surely you can understand that.
She nods and she's like, I understand, but I'm just, my only concern is what assurances do we have? Once the Fire Nation owns Ba Sing Se, then they can do whatever they want. And we are just one family, as powerful a family as we are.
You think that they will throw us out in the cold after everything we've done?
I don't think we have any assurances that they won't.
I have confidence this is not the case. Personal assurances.
She nods like, okay, so he's like talked to high up people.
He's talked to
like,
somebody, yeah.
Yeah, someone. And she says, so you're developing technology down here. I can see like a lot of things are being shipped out, and I assume justice is involved in that. I would like to learn more about that. It's my area. You know, she says, like, with the goggles on.
Right.
So,
And he sighs like yes, much to my chagrin. I do understand that you. And he like kind of bites his tongue for a second, like, this is your passion.
it's like, you're not an earthbender, what the hell?
Right. But yes, you may yet serve the family in your own way.
What I'm wondering is, if we have all of this business with the Fire Nation already, then why bother with the Ruby Jasmine? Where's that being grown? I don't see any here.
Of course not. We do not have the space to grow. Delight, these are a great many questions.
It's just a whole new world opened up before me. I have a lot of inquiries about what I can do to help. She says, lying.
Mm-hmm. I think you're doing something here.
I am doing
I
something.
feel like a move is being
Is
triggered here
is
in
it
this whole.
Is it a trick? Am I trying to trick him?
I think yes.
Well,
think
that
yes.
sucks
Like,
because
it's
I'm
either relying on your
foolish.
skills and training of like, I'm your daughter, or like, you can tell me. Come on, and like, I think he's like also a little apprehensive because you have your two guards here. Like, even though they are in theory
Sure.
your honor guard, it's like this.
I mean,
is family
Delight is
business.
Delight is just acting like they don't exist, you know, because
Right.
that's what you do with
This is
guards.
what you do, right? Yeah, go ahead and roll with your creativity.
Okay. So
Because
I
what
take
you
a
want him to do is like explain what's happening.
I'm foolish at the moment. I have the condition foolish, so I take a -2 to tricking
The trick.
people. I think that this is represented in that she's being overconfident about, like, okay, he's telling me stuff. Let's get him to tell me more.
Let's bury the
stuff.
needle on it, right?
Yeah.
Do it.
So that's not with the -2, so it's a 6 actually.
Ooh.
Could
Okay.
we push
Could,
it over the line?
Yeah, push it over the line by like us backing up a little bit. That would be our action to make it seem like, oh, we get the subtle cue,
Oh yeah, like the
Oh,
privacy.
yeah.
Yeah.
the
yeah,
privacy
so-
cue.
I think that if that's Chi's impulse of like, oh no, let's give them a second of like push them back. Chi, go ahead and mark a fatigue.
It's good.
So you're like, oh, hang on. So you're hanging back. You can still kind of hear this, but
Yeah.
you're like,
The
let's take a
illusion-
walk.
The illusion of privacy,
The
right?
Quote
illusion,
unquote,
yeah.
right? As you like kind of step away, you're like, listen. And so he sees that and he's like, okay. He seems to approve that you know your place. So what one thing do you want from that list?
I think Delight gives her father her best, like, I am a good daughter smile, you know, like
Yeah.
I am doing what I need to do here. And I think we're gonna go with they act foolishly
Mhm.
and they provide me with an opportunity.
Okay. So he's like, you're correct. I've kept this from you for a long time. And it is not because I want to keep you in the dark. It's that things are very complex. You will come to understand this in time, that politics has a great deal in common with Pai Sho. Careful moves, pieces being moved into place, making sure that your opponent doesn't fully understand your tactics. If you play your hand too soon, they can respond in ways that you were not expecting. We do not keep everything centralized because it would be foolish to do so. Everything has its place. Just like our family, just like the city, just like the kingdom. The jasmine is grown outside in the agrarian zone. As to why, it's simple. If we were to allow the streets to run wild with rebels and insurgents. The very people we are trying to protect would be cut down. Those who resist will be put in their place. But those who keep things running must be permitted a moment of respite. They will not know what is best for them. So what we are proposing, what Minister Li Zhang has so wisely proposed, is that a docile workforce will not act against their best interests when the walls come down. And when the soldiers come through, the loyalists, military, and guards will be dealt with in an easy way, using our wisdom. And those who remain will position themselves where they belong. Everything will be in its place.
Okay. I think Delight listens attentively, and then reasserts the minister and I have had our disagreements recently, and I was hoping that I'd be able to pay a visit in a more official capacity to wherever the growing of the ruby jasmine is happening, and maybe speak to the minister about how I was wrong to question this plan.
I think you're pleading with him.
Okay.
Because he's like, this is a lot to take in, and he seems a little skeptical. Roll with your harmony.
My harmony is bad.
Oh,
5.
We can, so the one thing that is possible, you could live up to your principle of tradition
oh.
if you wanted instead. We could rewind that if you wanted to angle it that way. But you don't have to. It only gives you whatever your bonus to tradition is.
I don't think she believes in this enough to live up to it. It's like
Yeah,
a principle,
totally
right?
legit.
Like, he's talking about pacifying the population and performing a coup. Yeah.
Right. You're like, no.
She wants to help her family, but she's not. She'd like to argue with them here, but it's just a dangerous place to do it.
Right.
I
just always because it's something that doesn't come up all the time for people.
No, for sure.
It's on the table to remind us.
You
but it's a 5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think he's like, Delight, there has been, I know you are eager to get into the field, and I am touched that you want to take on as much responsibility as you can, but I don't want to overburden you with too much responsibility at once. I am trying my best to make sure that your transition to this position is as painless as possible. And I think that to arrange meetings and discuss all of these things, to oversee multiple projects, would simply be too much. I have been told by some, I sometimes expect too much of people.
That flashback.
Right. So that discussion. I wouldn't want to burden you with too much responsibility. What you have taken on is enough.
So what would you want me to do?
If you have the skill and the ability and the interest, perhaps it is best that you assist your brother with production.
She like, agrees and says like, I'll talk to Justice later. See if we can't work something out.
Good. And he like, I think just sort of like looks at you with pride.
Oh no.
And he's like, my daughter, you've grown so quickly and so well into this position. I had always hoped that you would come to see things as they are, to embrace the Chen name. I'm so glad to see.
I think she looks.
This is true.
I think she like can't help but look like a little bit sad about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's like she's trying very hard to maintain like a neutral facade. But it's like, oh, you're proud of me for this? I don't feel good about that. You're like, I want you to be proud, but not about this.
For who I am, not like right. He's trying to shift your balance towards tradition. What do you want to do about that?
What are my options again?
You can either take it and shift your balance one step towards tradition, or you can resist it and push back, and that might go poorly for you, or it basically means there's some kind of fallout. It doesn't mean that he's gonna like blow up in your face, but you're sort of like,
it might go poorly for me.
This is not that what you're saying I am is not who I am. This is not my identity, basically.
Yeah, I am gonna push back against it. I think I kind of have to. I think at this point, if I keep giving it to tradition, I will become Darth Vader's apprentice over here, and then it's over.
Yeah. So it's a flat roll of just 2d6.
Just 2d6. All right.
Yeah. Oh, but you're foolish.
I am
so
foolish.
You have -2 to it.
So 3.
Okay. On a miss, he knows just what to say to throw you off balance. Mark a condition, and I shift your balance twice.
No, I lose my balance.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So it doesn't have to go whole hog, buck wild here. But like the two of you are watching.
Listen, I am ready for it to go whole hog, buck wild.
You can make it a thing, right? Because like we can see that the audience and even Song like sees. Like whatever obeisance, I think is the word, right? Like whatever you were giving is starting to crack in this moment. Like he expects, oh, I'm so proud of you. Like this is where you smile and you give me a hug, and you're like, I don't know. And so he's like, what's wrong, right? So Jian and Chi can see that Delight is cracking under this pressure. So he's like, I'm proud of you. You're embracing our family line. This is who you are, right?
But then
how do you respond?
Like, well, so I think he says that, and she like is trying to do the thing where she looks like she's gonna, like do what he wants, but it's clear that she doesn't agree, and I think there's a like. I think there's a little bit of like, how do I explain this? Sort of, like sad pushback, like where she's like, well, I would do whatever it takes to make you proud, Father, but I don't like this is the like subtext, like the underlying. After all of this kind of like walking around talking about the family and like tradition and like the like keeping the line safe and what have you, it's clear that she's like not on his side in this moment, and that maybe this is the first inkling he gets while they're down here that like she's been deceiving him, or that she's like got some ulterior motive for doing all of this. I mean, well known for making trouble in this family, you know.
Right.
So it's kind of like not.
I think I'm gonna pitch sort of a response to that like works. So you're doing that for sure. I wonder if how you kind of act in the next couple moments is like when someone like it clearly is not going to change and wants you to do a thing, and you're just like, fine, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it without emotion. I'm going to make myself as small as possible.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Like, okay, you want me to open the door? I'll open the door. Fine. What do you want? Right? Like, you want me to get that for you? Sure. Boom. Glass on table. Done. Like, walk away. So like you obsess to that print to tradition.
Yeah.
To a degree that's not healthy for you or anyone around you. So you choose one of the following: to either give in or submit to the opposition, lose control of yourself in a destructive or harmful way, or take an extreme action in line with the principle and flee. It sounds like you're just giving in. Right?
I wonder if this is one of those moments where it's like the only thing that Delight has ever wanted from her father is like validation and support and like and kind words, you know, and she's never really gotten that pushing back, right? And even though she feels like the moment is insincere, you know, and that like this is for a bad reason, when you're being told by someone that's like that you love, you know, that they're proud of you, that like she has doubts in the moment that like maybe I should just do what he wants, because like what are we gonna do to stop this from happening? Like the Dai Li are here, you know, it's just the three of us right now, you know, like there's nothing I can do here. Like maybe I should just go along with it.
Is there a way that we can save Delight in this kind of circumstances? Because we're her honor guard. We'll know if there's like something off.
Right. Well, so I mean, you can try and
I don't want to ruin the
her
RP
afterwards, but in the moment, right, like it hits, right?
I
It's
mean,
like this is your
like I lose my balance. That's just like a consequence of
it is what it had, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, like if I think if you're just like collapsing here, I think he sees that, right, and backs off. Like he's gonna leave you no matter what, right? But if you're not blowing up in his face about it, like you don't that's not what I want, right? If you're just sort of like resigned to your duties.
I mean, so given a submit to opposition is like I think the way to go here. Because I don't think anything else makes a ton of sense. Like taking extreme action in line with the principle and flee would be like I'd have to twist like what I think tradition is to like the Chen family, you know?
Right.
And like rebelling in any way against like the head of the family seems like the opposite of tradition, if you know what I mean.
Right.
So I think, you know, she just like kind of shuts down, right? She does that thing that's like, all right, I'll go and talk to Justice.
And his pride immediately collapses. That like he sees that you've done the like you're like following through the motions. I think we have flashbacks to these moments where like he knows that he's pushed you too hard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, all right, well then I'm just gonna shut down. If you're gonna be like that. Boom. Like I want your approval and you're not giving it to me, and in the way that like is good.
Yeah.
Boom, done. And he sees like it's a chain of these. You're a child, you're a teenager, you're you now. And he's like the two of you are standing like we've done this a couple times, I think, but the framing is great. It's like you're 2 feet away, but you're 1,000 miles away from each other.
Yeah.
You know, like the camera pans back so that like the two of you are just pulled apart, and it's the two of you like with little light silhouettes, but everything else is in darkness as you're on opposite ends of the screen. And he like in his mind is reaching out to you, and in reality we cut back and there's like nothing. Like he's just standing there sort of looking crestfallen. Jian and Chi can see like it's like he's opened up a present and it's like socks, you know. I want the Nintendo 64, and it's socks. It's more serious than that, but you know, it's that kind of like, I'm so
Yeah.
excited, and then oh, and all he does is like, I'll leave you to it.
And she sort of nods and says, we'll talk later. And then like turns to leave, basically, like
Yeah.
moving like down the hall past Gian and Chi, like expecting that they'll just like come with her. And she
There's a
says,
shared glance of concern between the two of them, and then they fall in.
Yeah.
she's like got her eyes like down towards the floor, you know.
Right.
And she says, I don't know what we're gonna do here. I don't know if I am strong enough to do anything here. We've got to leave. We've got to regroup. We've got to think of something.
All right.
Like,
And
there's
then sort
no
of like
yeah.
back exit to the
You find a way up, right?
Yeah.
And you
retrace our
pass
steps.
up, right? And we cut back to Song, who is still standing there in that intersection, and like his hands are at his side, and like his fingers just like open and start to lift, like he's going to kind of like call you back, even though you're like long gone.
Aw.
And then they fall to his sides and clench into a fist, and he pivots on a heel and walks into the shadows of the opposite tunnel away from you. And that's, I think, where we can take a break.
Whoa!
Great
every
timing.
week I'm just freaking floored by this emotion.
Damn. Okay.
Uh,
We'll go to a break. We'll be back in about 8 minutes. Go grab a snack and all that kind of thing, and we'll be back with part 2. See you then. welcome back to Roll For It Avatar Legends, episode 4, part 2. Welcome back. Oh boy.
That's right. What a bombshell! So where we left was on some family drama. So they what happens is Delight lost her balance at the end of that scene, which means that when you've had some time to rest and recover and recenter yourself, your center shifts one step towards whatever principle you lost your balance on. So I think you're now at +2 tradition, -2 progress.
I am indeed exactly that, yes.
Which is where your center and your balance are. So whenever anyone resets you to center, you're going back to +2 tradition.
We gotta try and pull that back.
You also clear all your conditions and your fatigue.
Yay!
So where do you've left the underground facility?
She was gonna do something, right?
Chi, as we leave, what do you do?
I think at this point, like we've been kind of down these halls and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll like kind of like shuffle us into like extra spare room that I think like is clear from my understanding.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty quick at getting the lay of the land.
She's a very adept person at figuring things out on the fly, for sure. Yeah. So then you like pull everyone into like the equivalent of a mop closet.
Yes.
It's not literally a mop closet, but it's like a storage room. Yeah.
And then I just like very like swiftly like just take Delight and like sit her down. And I'll be like, Susu, emergency. And like, of course, pops up, lays on your lap as like I robotically like, because I can see her down. And this is just how she is. Put Susu on your lap, then like kind of like put your hands on like. So what I'm attempting is, because I would have to roll passion normally, but because I'm using my best friend, it changes it to creativity instead of passion to do this convincing if it needs to be. So. All right. Delight. Hey. All right, you don't have to say anything, but I want to tell you something about families and kind of not getting what you want with them. I can kind of tell that we just went through a lot for the past 2 days. You know, I knew you. I'll be honest, we were acquaintances as 4. This is a lot to take in. I get that. Sometimes, though, there's just a lot of miscommunication, and what we think is for the best is not what it is. And maybe, yes, you finally get what you want. You get the approval. You get the thing that you want from other people. But I don't like seeing the Delight I saw before dying. And that's what I see in you. Like, I get it. Family, tradition. God knows I've made not traditional moves. I really did not. Yeah. And I've disappointed some very important people in my life. Like, and I just, sometimes you just got to take a step back and think of another way to approach things. Maybe we weren't able to physically do stuff, but we did one hell of a scouting, huh?
I think Delight sort of smiles at the last part, because like obviously you're trying to like encourage her, you know.
Yeah.
And she says like, yeah, well, you know, it's just ever since I was really little. This has just been, it's been everything, you know, like the expectation, the weight, the sort of like demands on me and on like what people expect from my family. And I haven't always worked well towards it, and it's just sad to hear that the thing my father is proud of me for is betraying our city.
I mean, I guess another like, yeah, that sucks. I can totally sympathize. Like, I guess that is a very hard pill to swallow. But I guess from like, at least there is still something there, and that there is an avenue. Maybe it's not quite what you wanted right now, but I think that like over time you could not like, maybe there are other moments. You can have other moments. Like this one moment might just be the first moment, but it's always easier, you know, to kind of, you know, get your foot in the door. Maybe like at first it's like, you know, when you're trying to convince somebody of like letting you in the door, sometimes you get your toe smashed, but you still got in the door, you know? It's like that trickle of affection's there. And on the other side of things, you don't, at least you're trying versus like always just being selfish and doing your own thing. And because I'll tell you, on the other side of the board, if you just do what you want and never account for the other person's feelings and how they think, it's not fun.
I think at this point, Delight's like, sounds like you got some of your own, you know, problems to work out. And I know it sounds kind of mean, but it's nice to know I'm not the only one.
Yeah. I mean, everybody has their own
Delight
issues, but
Delight lifts Susu off her lap and like offers them back to you. She like, maybe you need Susu's comfort now, actually.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Let's get out of here. We'll make a plan. We shouldn't stay here any longer. Quan will catch up with us, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure doing something, but I think I have something that we could try to do. Like, we have the information now of what's people can expect underground. And Gian, somebody else may know about underground and having more information of the underground.
Mm-hmm. Even if things are looking pretty serious in there, and by the sense of it, this whole thing may go to the top after all, we now have a few more contacts on our side. The people that we captured, they're part of a larger group called the Banjamo Society. Apparently they literally live underground somewhere. We can give them information, and they might have the numbers or the capability to do things that we can't. There's still hope.
Well, I guess I'm gonna leave it to you to lead on. I'll do whatever I can. I haven't given up.
Good. Don't we like hold out a hand to like help Delight up? That's the way that he can help. That's his thing.
Yeah.
I think
It's like, I
with
don't know
all
how,
of you
about all this
here-
talking stuff, but I can do the on your feet, soldier.
Yeah. I think there's a great moment here of like the three of you kind of rededicating yourself to like, we're going forward. There is hope. There is something we can do. Delight, you're clearing everything, obviously, because you lost your balance. But I think both Chi and Jian can clear a condition of this moment of like, yeah, we can do something here. We're feeling like the odds are against us, but we're managing to pull something off here, maybe.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
So you leave. Where do you go? Chi or Gian, I guess the ball is now in your court.
The ball is in your
Yeah.
court, friends.
Yeah, it's like,
All right.
we like march out of the compound and we're like, how do you find people underground?
Well, we don't. Well, I don't think we go right out of the compound. I think
Okay.
we know how to get to the people. There's 2 people downstairs that can show us where we need to go. And then, I don't know, maybe somehow have official paperwork that kind of release these people. Or maybe they just go away, they disappear.
I can definitely play that role if that's what you want me to do.
No. I think it might be too much. Maybe. Well, when are the? Let's say everybody thinks. Let me think. Okay, so everybody sneaks around at night, but why if we just in the day? You got some new servant robes. Who's gonna question a couple new servants that we're taking out of the compound? In the middle of the day, people don't look around that much. So
We still have to get them out of the. Who are you talking about? Like, until I.
Oh,
doesn't have
sorry.
any idea.
Sorry.
Right.
So, I think the 2 prisoners from yesterday that, like, yeah, okay, they tried to kill you, but, I guess they kind of your family had, we now know, done some terrible things. But, besides that, I feel like we can break them out and they can lead us to some people that might be able to help.
Okay, sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
All right.
What do you think,
Okay.
Gian?
That sounds like a plan. I think that's good.
So Chi, you have a move
Yep.
called "Here's the Plan."
Here's
When you
the
work
plan.
out a plan with someone, roll with creativity.
All right. Yes, here's the, I guess, yeah, this is how we'll roll with creativity. Let me go ahead and roll with that creativity. Yeah, we're gonna do it. I'll have this plan. It's time for me to shine.
Yeah.
Oh, mixed success. So there
Okay,
might
it's
be a
good.
little bit of
It's still good.
It's still good. It's just a little airborne. On a 7
well,
to
I
9, you
can't-
hold 2.
Yeah, because I can't do another fatigue to raise it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You, only other people can do that, and
Other people can.
Oh,
you
yeah.
need 3 people doing it.
Oh no.
So
no,
what
no.
you can do is spend that hold. You have 2 hold, 1 for 1 while you're doing your plan to either help someone and give them +1 to their roll after they roll.
Mhm.
You can call out a warning or a command and reduce the fatigue they would mark by 1. Or you can rally someone with invigorating words and negate a condition they would otherwise suffer. So the 3 of you gotta assemble. We cut to you with these 2 prisoners who you're dressing up like servants. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I think it's Delight and 2 guards leading 2 servants around the house, right?
Yep.
Yep.
And like out of the compound and into the city,
Streets.
into the
Yes.
streets. So I think like there's confusion at the gate, and they're like, wait, hold on. You're leaving, why? The compound is supposed to be secure after the attack. What business do you have in the upper ring?
I'm going to see Minister Li Zheng.
I think you have authority.
Yeah,
They
she's
know
just
the
like, why are
name.
you questioning what the
There's
fuck
no
I'm
reason
doing?
for them to stop. Like, they're like, oh, you're so on a mission. They're like, of course. And they sort of like look suspiciously at the two prisoners, like, surely you don't need house servants for this.
You don't get to tell me what I need. I need what I need.
The guards, I think, yeah, this is a reflection of your like push for your tradition. Like, they're like, and I think they're not used to. Maybe they're pushing back because they're not used to. These are guards you've talked to. They're not used to you.
Yeah,
You're a
usually
pushover.
she'd be like, you're right. I'm gonna go back inside. Or
But
whatever.
they immediately snap to attention. Like, yes, Lady Delight, and they let you out.
Have a good day, fellas. Like, you know,
Toodles. Right.
bye.
I feel like as we leave, they're like, wow, Lady Delight's really going on a power trip since that gala. Taking 2 servants? Crazy.
Whoa. Peas and carrots. So you step out into the upper ring. It is early afternoon. It's blindingly bright compared to the underground. So there's, I think, like, as you're getting used to everything, there's a moment of like, and the servants, these prisoners,
They're not
are,
prisoners anymore. They're our Badger
like,
Mole.
your friends, your Badger Mole
associates.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
They I think they're like walking with you. We're doing sort of the first Assassin's Creed, like, blend into the crowd, kind of slow walk moment, as to like, okay, so it's difficult to get to the underground from here. We'll have to pass through a couple of areas. We might need to even get into the middle ring. That's probably the safest way to do it, but there are a couple of passageways that lead down from up here. It's just they might have more eyes on them.
Perhaps we should go
So-
to the middle
Well,
ring then.
yep.
We can take a tram.
So you get on the tram, you take the monorail into the middle ring, and you get off, and they start like maneuvering you around. You notice there are some soldiers generally
Oh.
patrolling.
Okay.
The city guard
Mhm.
seems to be a little more on edge,
Yeah.
or more
Oof.
active, I should say.
Delight tries not to draw attention to herself here, because she has a recognizable face, and she's not supposed to be here. So.
People
Someone?
are, yeah, like a few people recognize you. They're like, oh, that's Lady Delight. She's Lady Delight Chen. And like, I think at one point, like, a merchant like waves you over, like, Lady Chen, please come see my wares. I do me the honor of browsing my stock.
Yeah, sure. You know, like, sort
Right.
of.
So you like, he pulls you over. I think he's just selling like candies. It's like a sweet shop.
I give him one resource of cold hard cash, and I take
just take
lots
a brick of
candy.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like lots
Oh.
of candy.
Oh, you're very generous, of course. Tell your family, please. Can you believe Lady Delight Chen was in my store?
Of course, it all looks delicious. You know, like take like
Right,
a little bit.
Right. But like, people, there are eyes on you, whether or not you fully want them to. Like, people are sort of
No,
like
yeah.
starting to take a little notice of you.
Delight's kind of like, maybe I should conceal myself somehow after a little while. You know, like,
Is there like, actually, I'm not from here, but would I know of a friend who sells that isn't the other friend that sells clothing in the middle ring that is
Mhm.
known to kind of like have a back room that we could use?
No, you know what? We
Yeah.
don't even need to make a big scene of it. I think
Oh.
that all we need to do is I have the urban background.
Yeah.
So
Ah.
or the urban
Yeah.
or
It's a background.
So I think it's just like stripping the like Chen symbols off a bunch of stuff, you know, like whatever the garb she's wearing, like take the jewelry off, you know, take the whatever off and like tuck it away.
Or we could prepare like other normal clothes, right? We could have just like
exactly like have brought some stuff that's like a little more disguise worthy.
I think it makes sense if you worked out a plan that like a few of you had like backpacks or something that had street clothes in them that you change into. So that makes a lot of sense.
Just wants to be a little bit lower profile.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good if that information gets back to anyone.
So Light, I think you roll with creativity. I think this is walk this way.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
You're fitting in with a specific crowd. It's just like, hey, we're out here, but we're not fancy.
12.
Boom. Perfect. It's flawless. You gain access to wherever you wanted to fit in while attracting little suspicion.
So we're just following our Badgermole associates with, you know, like no problem. Although Delight is eating from the bag of candy.
Right. Just snacking. Yeah. But you've changed into plain clothes. Nobody has any reason to suspect you. Like you've left you've stashed the guard outfit somewhere like in a dumpster or whatever. Like no one's gonna find it. Yeah. You proceed basically unobtruded by anyone. You come to, I think, what's a cool way you could get down there? Like a well? Like a water sense, yeah. Like a water well. Like it's not like a full on, it's not just like a little hole in the ground. I think it's like a small like waterworks. Like a cistern. Yeah. Ooh. So cistern is like it's an area that gathers like rainwater, right? So it's sort of like this structure that has a dome, and you like step in, and there's obviously like people working the cistern with earth bending to like keep the water wheel or whatever running and pass the water along to various places. It's very nice. There's like there's like a little garden here, but you just look like people that are walking around like nice middle-class citizens. You belong here. And these people know the Badgermoles. So it's like they recognize them, and they just sort of like share a nod, and they don't do anything while they lead you kind of through the cistern, like down some spiral staircases. And then they tap, it's got to be like they tap a loose brick that slides open a doorway that leads you into the deeper tunnels. So yeah, they lead you down into the caves. So the guards, or not the guards, the Badgermoles are like, oh, wasn't expecting it to be that easy. It's nice. You can see it's hard to be in plain sight.
People see what you want them to see.
Yeah. We're glad that you had your expertise.
Delight looks a little nervous because this is like the people who tried to kill her, basically.
Right. And they like are equally like kind of suspicious of you. You're both kind of on this like, where do we stand?
We're working together, I think. Yeah.
Right.
Situation.
I think. Yeah, I think there's a moment as you're like passing through these tunnels. They pick up like a torch, and it's not a torch. It's a wooden rod with one of those green crystals kind of encased in it that they like kind of like tap a couple times and it just glows. And so one of them is like walking down holding this thing. And they like stop you as we're walking like down these caves, and they both stop. So one of them's in front, one of them's in back. So they're pincering you. And the one holding the lamp turns to Delight and is like, we've gotten this far. Before we go any further, how do we know you're not just gonna sell us out to the Chens?
If my family knew I was here, I'd be in more trouble than I would be from you, knowing I'm a traitor.
And what better way to sabotage? I mean, you saw how your attempt went. What better way than from the inside?
Listen, I don't believe in what they're doing. And if you don't believe me, then there's nothing I can do to convince you.
I lost my village to the Fire Nation. The weapons they use were probably supplied by Delight's family. But I trust Delight. Trust her to be maybe the only member of that family who will make sure to stop it if they can.
Yeah. I think they kind of take each of your statements on their own merits. And they're like, we want to believe you. And we'll see what the others have to say. And they start to lead you further in. Once you get past some of the initial tunnels, this opens up and you realize that you're walking on worked stone. Like the tunnel widens and it's like you're walking on an underground street. And then once the cave opens up more, it opens up into a big mouth. There are crystals on the ceilings, like kind of everywhere. The whole chamber is illuminated now. There's a waterfall like running off in the distance. And you see kind of laid out before you like an old city, like or like structures just sort of crumbled or decimated or otherwise like collapsed due to history and time. But there is like this whole settlement down here in a very, very old Earth Kingdom architectural style. What do you do?
Kind of a little bit in awe of this place, and like,
Yeah.
seems like a pretty good operation. This is
didn't even-
huge.
I didn't even know this was down here. How many of you are there? She like asks the badger mole guy.
Right. A voice comes from like further down that says, enough of us. And from the rubble, people in dark brown outfits with face coverings, they're wearing like leather bracers that have bone on them, so they look like claws.
Cool.
And like leather helms that are like trimmed with fur.
Oh, they got that sweet badger mole aesthetic going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they just like emerge out of the earth. Like literally they like slide out through earth bending.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
And
think Delight is relatively startled, like, like, where did you even come from?
yeah.
It's just like, wow.
One of them steps forward who has sort of like some very distinctive markings on the helmet, and looks over at the two prisoners like, we're glad that you made it out. I see you brought company. and they turns to you to explain yourselves.
We're here to help.
Like he says.
I don't know how much you know, but we know that the Earth Kingdom is secretly at war with the Fire Nation. And that they don't want anyone to know about it, they're suppressing it. And some members of Ba Sing Se are even helping the Fire Nation. We want to stop that.
They look you over, and the leader with the more ceremonial helmet headdress like nods and steps forward towards John, because you've been speaking for the group, and says, "We are aware. We've been trying to do our best to fight from below. It's good to see that there are still some good soldiers still out in the field."
Jen stands a little bit taller.
And like in that, as you like stand tall, the badger mole like snaps to attention and salutes you, Gian.
Salute back.
Oh yeah.
They pull down the face, and it's Chen, it's Commander Chen, and says, "I told you I'd meet you in Ba Sing Se one day."
You made it out!
I'm gonna give him a first name, Yun Chen.
Yeah.
Yun Chen has like battle scars. So like the last time we saw Commander Chen was like surrounded by fire and fighting, right? So he's got like not full Zuko style burns, but I think he's got like some scars on the face.
Grizzled.
Right, like he's been through the ringer. It's like, I did. I'm glad to see that you made it out too.
I had no idea it was like this in the city.
None of us did. I'd heard things. Uncle Song has been less than forward with the rest of the family about things, and to be honest, I haven't been keeping up with things. I think he turns. Have you ever met
No,
Yun
I've never,
Delight?
definitely I've never met him. Like,
Yeah.
I think he's old enough that when I was a small child, he was no longer like anywhere near Ba Sing Se. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
So he's a cousin. He's a second or whatever
Yeah.
cousin. But I think he like maybe knows of you. Well, no, maybe he doesn't actually. I think he looks at you with that sort of like, do I know you face?
Yeah.
But like neither of you fully like connects the dots.
I mean, I've heard that his name is Chen, so I'm
Right.
like, you know,
There are lots of Chens, but
there
they're
are
like
lots of
there
Chens,
are Chens and there are
but-
Chens.
Yeah, I think Delight is staying quiet for the moment because Gian seems to have like a good grip on this situation, and
Right.
I don't need to complicate things or like mess stuff up in any way. Like, maybe the response to me being here would be very bad, you know? So I'll just stay quiet for now.
So yeah, Yun Chen, I think like claps you on the shoulder and is like, "Come on, soldier, let's get you a drink."
Jen's just beaming. He's gonna, yeah, he'll go wherever he's led.
Yeah. They take you further into these ruins, and Yun explains to you that this is not the extent. Like this is like the size of like a village. It's probably the size of your home village, basically. but it's like a small settlement. And he explains that like there are other parts of the city that have been cut off or distributed, but these tunnels run all the way underneath the city. Like they're most concentrated underneath the upper ring, but they go out, and even the Badgermole Society hasn't fully mapped how far they go. But he takes you into sort of a makeshift camp that they've built in some of these ruins that are like decorated with furs and things to keep warm. You see there are crates of things, like there's supply. They've raided some of these Chen supply caravans, so they're like goods like foods and like some weapons and stuff that are being checked and stored. There's meats being grown being grilled and like smoked and stuff like that. People are coming back with baskets of like mushrooms and other like cave vegetables. Like they're able to subsist off of what's here and stolen food. But we cut to sort of like you all sitting around this campfire. What do you do?
I think Chen is basically delivering a report about the whole situation. It's like, so we've learned that the Chen family have been supplying weapons. We have the storehouse where they're managed. That uses the conveyors to send them on to another area that we haven't explored. And it's kind of going into all these details, and it's like, we also discovered about the ruby jasmine. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but they're using it in the tea that they use to brainwash people, to kind of make them forget about everything and keep control of the population. We know where it's being grown, and we have instructions from the Minister of Agriculture about how to sabotage it. He's on our side, at least to some degree.
Yun Chen nods. Like, that's good. That's good information. We've seen what that stuff does. The people, we've called them sleepwalkers. They don't seem to recall anything. Once they've drunk enough of that stuff, they come back. We've lost a few of our people. And like gestures, I think there's like some cots like in this is sort of like an open building that might have been some kind of like storehouse or something beforehand. But they're like medics attending to people who just like they're awake, but they just seem catatonic or drugged, or that kind of when you just wake up out of sleep and you're like nothing makes sense, like where am I, who am I? Like they have to keep explaining things multiple times, like you're here, you're safe, you're underground, right? Like answering the same questions over and over again. They can go about, some of them can do basic tasks, but it's like they've been completely incapacitated. It seems to be wearing off in some of them that haven't imbibed it in some time, but it's potent stuff. Any way that we could stop the production of it would be incredible.
I think that sabotage is something that we could pull off. Dealing with the weapon shipments, that's going to take everything that you and us can muster, but I think we can stop the ruby jasmine.
Yeah, the society will probably be able to do something about the tunnels. If you can pinpoint where it is, we can make a map and try and find where those tunnels are and collapse them or sabotage them some way. We won't be able to do much about whatever's gone already out to the Fire Nation. And we don't know the extent of what their armaments are, but we can at least try and cut it off at the pass. And that jasmine, we might be able to help you get access to it.
Alright. I think that's the first place to go, get that out of the way. If they can't brainwash people, then the Badgermole Society can only grow stronger.
That's our hope. We're one of many smaller cells. It's easier for us to operate divided, but we have ways of communicating and passing back and forth information. Hopefully, striking this blow will help us gain more recruits and allow us a moment's reprieve.
I just hope that all the fighting inside the walls won't make it easier for the people outside them.
If the people inside know the truth, they can prepare for battle better. I feel like there are people who think that they're keeping the war quiet to protect people, but I think really they're being manipulated by the ones that are trying to win the war for the Fire Nation. What it's all about in the end.
That's
I will
right.
ask, I don't know what exactly your guys' mission was, and Chen looks over at like the two prisoners that we brought back. I don't know exactly what their plan was, but possibly I'd like to avoid trying to kill anybody. I don't think we have to go that far, especially just as Chen. If he's to be believed, then it seems like he's changing his mind.
The two badger moles you've been traveling with sort of like scoff a little bit, and Yun kind of like Yun takes off the helmet, and you see like the scarring. He might have had hair beforehand. I think it's like completely shaved now, and so there's like some burn marks and scars, and he like takes off his bracers for a moment and shows you like what he's been through physically, and says, John, this is a war. The people who want to bring ruin to the Earth Kingdom will show us as much mercy as the Fire Nation did at what's your village's name again?
Luwan, I think.
Luwen, yeah.
Yeah, we said
Luwan,
it earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luwan.
Will show us the same mercy they showed us at Luwan. I've earned these there skirmishes since then. If we you were there, you saw what they can do, and now you're telling me that we should be gentle with the enemy? You and I both know the Fire Nation will never do that for us. He's trying to push you towards force.
I'm gonna try and resist.
Okay. Flat 2d6 roll. Unless you have foolish marked.
I don't. 4. Oh no.
Hey. On a miss, they know just what to say to throw you off balance. Mark the condition and shift your balance twice towards force.
So in his attempt, Jen will kick back and say, the people you sent, they could have killed Delight. She's on our side. And justice is being
He just like
turned as
waved
well.
towards me. I'm like,
Right. Right. And you say that, and he cuts you off and says, the people they sent almost killed your family. I saw them leaving. You lost everything, Gian. Do you think there are any bystanders in war?
I just Don't want there to be any more harm.
He puts his armor back on very, like, sternly, and it's like, you picked the wrong occupation. I need soldiers. I thought you could be one. And if I'm wrong, these two can show you the way back to the surface. He is calling you to live up to force, to be like, show me you're 100%.
Wait. Actually,
yeah, what's up?
So as soon, she's gonna bump into here, because as soon as he says that I thought he was a soldier, she's gonna stand up, because she's been seeing Gian do as much soldiering and living up as possible, and I'm just gonna be like, excuse me.
Yes. Stand up for your friends.
Dare you say that Gian is not a soldier because he's not following your path, your thinking, your orders? What does a soldier do? Does he just kill, or does he protect? And what are we? Are we going to be the Fire Nation then? Are we the Fire Nation? Is that how we fight them? Becoming the Fire Nation?
Yeah. I like this a lot. I feel like you're calling him out.
I am calling him
You're
out.
calling him out. Shift your balance away from your center.
Yes. But I do have a problem. I do still have the one condition called afraid, so I'm still gonna have -2.
Okay, so then maybe there's a little quivering in your voice here.
Yeah, this is a little.
I'm gonna hack this move that you have, right? Because you have this 2 hold that you've been sitting on, but you didn't. Weren't able to really use in the moment. I'm gonna let you spend one of that hold to figure out what his like principle is, so that you can then call him on it, because you've been observing him, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you've like Quan's methods have sort of rubbed off on you. I think
from my failed roll, I've shifted 2 to force and taken a condition, right? Either way.
Yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm definitely taking the condition insecure. I think that makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah, that hurts. I think his principle, I think it's action. Right? Like, he believes in like you do the job, right? We go in, we do things directly. And actually, Gian, what you've known him the longest, what does Yun Chen believe in? It may have shifted a little bit over the years, but like,
it's something in the realm of force. It's like fighting for it'll I feel like it relates to like the war with the Fire Nation, and like maybe resistance, maybe like holding the line or something like that is his
stalwart, unmoving defense.
Yeah.
Loyalty?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Loyalty's a good one, yeah.
But if you feel like it's more like
to, like the Earth Kingdom and like protecting it at all costs kind of deal.
Right. Yeah, let's go that way with it. So he believes in, his principle is loyalty. So, and I think that's exactly what you're calling him on, is like, I've seen him do it, you've seen him do it, you're gonna doubt him, like you're gonna throw everything that you had away because he's asking you for like a little bit of like, let's think for a second here, right? No. If you need soldiers, this is not how you do it. We're not gonna become our enemies, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you've shifted your balance away from your center.
Yes.
And then you're gonna roll with his principle, which is loyalty. And I think right now he's probably got a +1 in loyalty.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll and add +1. He's like, he's got his belief in his people.
Which one do I roll for that? Sorry, I'm just trying.
It's just 2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
Yep. It's
And
whatever
then
his principle, his balance track is.
Oh, nice.
What'd you get?
I got. Well, I didn't do the +1, so it's a 9.
It's a
Well,
9.
9, but do I minus the 2?
Yes, from your
Yeah.
Still
so
a
it's
7.
Still a
7.
7. Mixed success.
On a hit, he is called to act as you say, which is like to respect Gian and trust Gian. He must either do it or mark a condition. On a 7 to 9, he challenges your view of the world in turn. Mark a fatigue, or he can shift your balance as he chooses. And you're juggling loyalty and confidence.
Yeah.
So you're like, we can't become our enemies, right? You don't talk to him this way, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would he challenge you on that? Because
Mm.
he probably will do it.
Fatigue. Or no, I already take the fatigue as well, so.
You will either mark a fatigue or he will shift your balance.
Ooh.
But in the fiction,
think,
he still has to like say
Okay.
something that
I would say that like questioning why am I so confident? Like why do I have confidence in this if he doesn't even know me? He doesn't know who I am. So
Right.
maybe.
I think. Yeah, well, you're like a small outlaw, right?
Yeah.
I think he's heard of you.
Oh shit! You got the rep.
Yep.
Because like you're both from the Eastern Earth Kingdom, and I think like he will respect. He will like back off of Gian and like welcome Gian into the fold and sort of like accept those words. In the process, he's like, and what do you know about it? I've heard of you. The one with the ice stoat. And then daggers. Chi, right?
Delight's like, hey, he knows you. Awesome.
You run around the East Coast, stealing whatever it is you want off of the various nobles and people who are doing things you think are wrong, right? Sure, you have a whole collection of their jewelry and buttons and things like that. Like jingling a little bit inside your clothing.
Jingling as I shift.
Don't look at my trinkets. But I think he's like, you're right. You're right. I need soldiers. And I know that Gian's a soldier. And you are out of your depth here, Chi. This isn't a game where you can pluck a feather out of someone's hat. We're not playing practical jokes here. That bravado that you just showed, it's good for Gian. It's going to get you into a lot of trouble on the battlefield. You can't go off and you can't be the lone wolf. You have to work together as a unit. So he's trying to push you towards loyalty over confidence.
Ooh.
And I presume you're marking the fatigue to be like, not today, buddy.
Not today. Or can I, well, I guess, can I challenge it too? Is there a way to?
Because the way it's baked in is like,
Okay, yeah. Nah,
you can push back at, like with roleplay 100%.
Oh yes, I'm gonna push back.
So what do you say in response?
I'm in the response of that, and well, say I might not be a lone wolf, might not do the job, but hey, if I'm so lowly, you know my name, you know what I've done, you know what I've collected. This is true. But I'm not trying to argue, oh, the lone path is the better path, or the group path is, more secure and more of a sound base. But I know what my worth is. And maybe I was floundering before. Maybe, I've done a couple of things, but you gotta know the dark side to know what the good side is. And I'm glad you know my name, because this name is gonna be a name in history. And I'll make it so. And it starts somewhere. And I'm gonna make it start here and now, when it is the most important to the Earth Nation.
Go ahead and shift your balance towards confidence. It's like I think maybe you've been slowly rising to your feet this whole time, like without noticing it, like, right? And he's like, okay, respect, right? Because like he is a soldier at the end of the day. Like there is something to that kind of confidence that is.
I just wanna put in that in the background of like this swelling, like standing, like dramatic statement of courage and confidence. There's just a light going like, yeah.
Yes, yeah, like yeah. Which is great. This is a very like, but you have heard of me kind of moment. You're without a doubt the worst bandit I've ever heard of. Yeah, so I think that's great. Like you have this like swelling moment of like, and it starts right here, right now, and there's a crum noise, like some kind of explosion and rock crumbling. Ooh. And then a clunk, 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 clunk. Huh, huh. Fan out, men. I want a full perimeter. Let's flush these rats out. As a voice echoes down the hallway, and you look out the like windows of this little ruined stone like structure, and you see a bunch of city guards directed by Commander Ranrui, who is like pointing various directions, and Yun Chen looks at you and goes, right here, right now, huh?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, the badger moles like have on their gear. They've covered up their faces. They've got their armor on. And they fan out, and like a handful of them just like burrow, like they jump out the windows, and you see they like earthbend into tunnels as they land, like they're doing like swan dives, and they foomp and start like burrowing their way, like spreading out in various directions.
Awesome.
That is really cool.
They're just like they're just land sharking it.
Exactly, right? We got a bunch of boulettes up in here. And like a handful of them like surround the wounded that they have on the cots. And Yun Chen like stands up and just like reaches out a hand to Jian.
I'll take it.
You do the predator arm lock. And step out. What you see, I sort of like set the context, I guess, for this territory is you're in like a 2-story building. It has stairs going up and down, and you're surrounded by a couple of like smaller houses. The tiles of there's not like tiles per se. It's like what's the Morrowind is what I'm thinking of. You know, like the Dunmere cities, if you're familiar with like Skyrim or like Elder Scrolls stuff. Like the Dark Elf cities have these kind of like stone structures with kind of like flat, indented kind of roofs. You see it in like parts of the Middle East as well, like in Morocco and places like that. So they're like these very square structures, and they're very utilitarian because this place was built underground. Like people had to live underground here, but they don't need obviously like big spanning gardens or huge windows. It's like just enough to kind of see out. So you've got central building, kind of like a little courtyard surrounded by some other buildings. And I think there's like some banners or something that not like identifying colors, but like laundry lines and stuff like crisscrossing occasionally, some supply crates and stuff. The soldiers are descending down these big stairs, the remains of these old stairs that are crumbling, but they're very wide. And so there's like 20 of them coming down the stairs with spears, or they're earthbenders. So they're like calling up whatever they have nearby. Commander Runnery is directing them from the top of the stairs and like slowly starting to walk down. So they're going to hit the courtyard any second now. And the badger moles, there's a handful of them down in the courtyard, and the more expertise, the trained ones are like trying to flank them from the sides in this kind of open cave area. What do you do?
I'm gonna run up into plain view, alongside Commander Chen, and just kind of like form up, get ready in a classic military stance.
Right. This is your element. This is what you're trained in. This is literally your fighting style. What does this moment look like? Like tell us what this this animation scene looks like as the two of you flank up.
Yeah, I think like they quickly get into sync, and like it sounds like we're gonna pull off like what we've done in training before, and then we like both run up into position, and once we get in position we like stamp our feet into the ground, like widen our stance, and just like crouch and make fists, and we're just like ready to make a move, and just start like scanning the line, looking between everyone, seeing what's gonna happen.
And it's perfectly in sync. You like both run down, bam, feet pivot. I think like if you play Destiny 2, I'm imagining like the Titan barricades. You like call up like waist high cover.
Yeah.
That like thump is like in front of you in this kind of semicircle that protects your whole front arc.
Nothing as good as chest high walls.
Yeah. It's just like you can crouch underneath it and then pop back up and launch whatever you need. So the two of you are in that like synced up side to side double dragon box art pose. What are Delight and Chi doing?
Well, Delight unholsters her effect launcher, and is getting ready to defend against these guards. She's not much of a combatant, I don't think. Just generally, she's not like a person who likes to get into combat. So it's like a nervous preparation.
Yeah, for sure.
But she's been working on this thing for ages, so you gotta try it out.
Gotta crack the plastic on it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna just be readying my millions upon billions of knives that I have. Just go ahead and strike and like aim for palms and stuff, and then just also kind of mostly get, because some of them are around the wounded, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna aim for the ones around the wounded. It's not so much the attackers, but I want to help get those.
You want to hang back.
I want to hang back and help the wounded escape.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
How do you want to help them escape? Do you want to like make a diversion, secure a path, that kind of thing?
Because I'm sure there's people also helping them. I will go ahead and make a diversion as loud as possible, for I am Chi. The blade. Just be shouting. Yeah.
How do you? So do you just like jump out and you're like, "Hey, look at me!
Yes.
I'm a target.
I'm a target.
Look, a distraction."
Look at me. Yes.
It's me. I'm a bandit. Hello.
I am a bandit.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we're gonna do an exchange here because the rest of you are like in your defense. You're waiting for them to arrive. So like you've taken up your positions. The swarm of city guards just like crashes into your defenses, and Chi is trying to divert attention away, like the worst of it. So Chi,
I think I wanna pull a move before we do the exchange.
please.
So I see the commander Ranrui is kind of hanging back and commanding.
Yeah.
I'm first I'm gonna say to Commander Chen, it's like, we're falling back this time. We're already in the city, and I want to call out to Ranrui, and you stand and fight.
Yeah.
Right,
Okay.
I'm gonna say,
how do you provoke him into attacking you?
You can't silence us, Ranrui. We're at war with the Fire Nation, and everyone's gonna know it before long. You can't stop us. You definitely can't stop me.
Oh.
Good. Roll with passion.
I don't know why there's 2 dice options for this. I'll just try the first one and see what happens.
Okay.
Full success. 11.
Oh God. Good. On a hit, they're coming at you specifically. On a 10 plus, you're ready for them. Clear a condition or become prepared. Your choice. Prepared means that as long as you are prepared, you can clear that status to get +2 to an appropriate roll or avoid marking a condition. So you could spend it on your approach in the exchange or a move, or use it as armor.
I might just go for clearing a condition straight away because I do have 2 now.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to clear angry because then I can regain angry later.
Yep. Right, you can become so like you're angry, but we see you're ready for this, right? So you clear the unlevel-headedness of anger, and it's more about determination.
I imagine that like seeing that like I've got his attention, there's like a little bit of a smile, and for a moment he's composed and he's ready.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Chi, you're making a distraction.
Yes.
I think this is a little bit less of trick, right? Because tricking is more like, hey, like look over there. You're like, you want to get everyone to follow you, and presumably like you'll lose them or juke them or something like that, right? I think you're pushing your luck here, because the guards are like, they have a target. You got to give them a good reason to break off and like try and chase after you.
Chase you for me, yeah.
So you will roll with passion. If, however, you have Susu,
Oof.
you could mark fatigue and have Susu help you with the distraction and use creativity.
Yes, I will go ahead and do that. I'm gonna have Susu. I'm going to act very flamboyantly at these soldiers, be like, "Woohoo, soldier boys! Look at me!"
Yoo-hoo! Yeah.
And then like Susu's on my head, like, and like just making like, "Ooh, I'm so scared and terrified of the magical soldier boys who want to pick on you, defenseless folks. Oh, you're so strong soldiers, aren't we? Ooh."
Yeah, Susu's up on your head doing the Timon at the end of the Lion King bit, like not with the grass skirt, but like wiggling their butt, at the
Yeah.
guards.
All right, let's
Uh,
see this. Let's do it. We can do it.
Roll with your creativity.
Mixed success, but I mean, still good.
Hey, it's not bad. Yeah. So on a 7 to 9, you do it, but it costs you to scrape by. I will tell you what it costs you. You have to run. You get their attention.
Yes.
The cost is you basically have to break off from the group,
Oh.
and they will be like a handful of the guards are like, "Hey, get that joker over there!" Like, so they go to chase you. Their full attention is on you, but now that their attention is on you, you're exposed and you're out in the middle of this like cave area. You got to find somewhere to lose them.
Yeah. No
Uh,
problem.
Yep.
I'll just go. Woo! Like,
Oh no!
weird-
Don't chase me!
No, don't chase me.
They start like one of them starts throwing like some javelins at you. They're like chunk chunk as you start to turn and run. Let's do our exchange because it's the round where we like sees your call out. It's like I should have known you'd have thrown in with this lot. You always were a troublemaker, John. And like, I'm gonna shut you up good, and like starts running
shit.
down the stairs. So choose your approaches,
Oh, man.
Delight and Gian.
What approach? What approach? Indeed, indeed. I think I'm going to advance and attack.
Yeah. All right.
As always, it's a choice between advance and attack and not advance and attack, and I think advance and attack wins.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Surprising no one, they are also going to be advancing and attacking. So Delight and Gian, go ahead and roll with your passion, and in whatever order you choose, do your moves.
Actually, you know what? Can I change my selection?
Yeah, totally.
I would like to evade and observe instead.
Okay, sweet.
Does
So
that come
Gian,
first?
then roll with your
Oh.
passion.
Oh no. Failure with 6.
Okay, so on a miss, you can still get one basic technique if you shift your balance away from your center.
Oh. That would make me lose my balance.
Ooh, okay.
Force into force? Oh no!
Mm-hmm.
That could be very dangerous.
So you could potentially do something very cool, but it will sort of take you out of the moment.
Yeah.
Yep,
So do you want to
it's-
just stumble instead?
I think so. Though,
Okay.
Although
I could
Although-
use fueled by anger. And still
Oh, yeah?
get off a technique.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because you could mark angry to use an additional basic or master technique when you advance an attack, even on a miss.
So I'm gonna remark the angry I just cleared,
Perfect.
and I'm still gonna get a move off. And let's see.
And this is another mechanic that we haven't touched yet. This is your adversary. Commander Runri, who's running at you, is your adversary. When you enter a fight against your adversary, you clear all of your fatigue, and you become inspired.
Oh.
When you select any combat approach against your adversary, you can mark fatigue to roll with the conditions you have marked instead of your normal stat. So before that wouldn't have done anything. But like basically the more beat up you get, the harder you fight. Because you're like, I want to bring you down.
So I could instead make a flat roll plus conditions as an option.
Yes, instead of rolling plus
Right.
passion. Yeah.
Okay, that's
So it
cool.
wouldn't be very good right now because you have nothing.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I did also
but
have insecure
as the fight
going,
goes on.
so I'll have insecure and angry, which means it'll be on par with passion. If I pick up anything else, then I can start doing that.
Yeah, so you marked angry. And you get to use a basic or master technique. What do you want to do?
I'm going to do. Part of me's like, go for broke, do the stun.
Go for broke, go for broke, go for broke. Do it.
I heard so much
You
doing
can
that though.
do it.
Might go for the strike. Yeah, we'll start with strike.
Okay. So Ranrui is like closing the distance towards you. He's like thundering his way down the stairs, like ready to rush you. So what do you do to strike him?
So yeah, I think like this was Jan's plan is like he come like that he's gonna come barreling towards, and then I'm gonna get him, and then like I think like he goes to Earthbend and like just flubs it, like a section of like the stairs behind Ranrui like kicks up and like falls apart, and he's like ugh, meh, and then he like you know he's like damn it I screwed it up, this was the one thing, no I can do this, and then he goes for it again, and is going to like kick up the section of stairs that Rarumi's about to get to, just to like and like
Right.
make him like trip over it is the idea.
Oh yeah, sort of like destabilize him. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to choose what he takes or let him mark whatever?
I'm gonna let him mark whatever.
Okay. He stumbles. And so like you get that, like the block flies by. I think he like just bashes it away with his hand. 'Cause he's got these thick, meaty arms, and like boosh, bashes it away. And then like while he's distracted by that, you're like, oh, whoop, foot, and you pull the step up. So he puts his foot where there should be a step, and he like tumbles and like rolls to the ground, like and gets up onto his feet. But when he gets up, you see his face is flushed, hot red, like you've embarrassed him. He is going to shift his balance one step forward. So what that means mechanically is like he's one step closer to being taken out if you can make him lose his balance, but he also gets to do extra techniques the higher his balance is. Now Ranrui gets to take an action. The other thing is you have inspired, which means that you can clear that condition or status to shift your balance towards a principle of your choice.
Okay.
So you're like, I'm gonna pull my punches and shift towards care, or I'm gonna kick your teeth in and shift towards force. Which would be bad, but also maybe good. But that's just sitting there.
In the
That's
situation.
right.
It's dangerous.
So the guards get to take their action. They are a large group, which means that they act like a major NPC in this moment. They're a large group of minor NPCs, which means they get to do three things.
Oh no!
So the first thing they do is they pressure you. They rush in, and I think like there's a volley of javelins that they like throw out, that sort of is like you have to throw up some cover. I think like Yun has to throw up some cover to like block those, but you're just getting wailed on. And then when they get close, it's just a lot of that, Iroh getting ambushed by Azula at the end of like season 1, like beginning of season 2, of like block parry, like bam, 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 bam. Like you were surrounded on all sides. They're just wailing on you so hard. You can't evade or observe next time you act.
Okay.
Just like you either block or you fight, but you can't get out of the way or you don't have any reprieve. They're going to strike, obviously, with all these blows. You choose whether you want to mark 2 fatigue, a condition, or shift your balance away from center.
Okay. Let's take a condition.
Okay. I'm powered by emotions.
Yeah.
Who can play this game?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
And
maybe
I think
afraid would work in this situation.
afraid seems to make a
Yeah.
lot
I
of
mean,
sense.
you're being pressured like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this
and I
is
think-
a lot actually.
Yeah. They're going to mark a fatigue for smash, which lets them destroy or destabilize something in the environment. Bless you. I think they bash your cover. The earthbenders among them, like, blast through the stonework that you have. So, like, the cover you had was good for ducking under from those javelins, but they've since, like, rushed up and just open palm exploded it, so your barrier is no longer there. So in the fiction, that's just, like, gone. I don't think there's a status that goes with it. I think it's just, like, that's... Now you're flanked on all sides.
Yeah.
Ran Rui rushes in and focuses on you specifically, Gian. Ran Rui gets 2 techniques because he's shifted his balance. He's gonna strike you 100%. He's like laying into you. And I think he's gonna try and exploit your weaknesses. He marks a fatigue and deals you another condition.
Oh.
So he is a powerhouse, right? He just like wails on you with a combination of like heavy fist strikes, and like maybe you dodge, and he calls up some rocks and like does a mirror of the pillar thing you did last session, but with 2 boulders that he launches up and just like swings towards you that like crush but narrowly miss you. So he's like really wearing you down. He wants to scare you.
Okay, I'll take foolish for that one.
Okay, makes a lot of sense.
I'm just like, I want to take more conditions. Okay, here's conditions. Wait, no.
I think he's gonna pressure you as well.
Oh.
So he's gonna say that you can't defend. So he's now that he's like smashed up, like you're
so
the
you're
2 of you are
limited
face
to
face.
attacking then.
Right, and he's
Perfect.
like,
that's all I need.
"Come on, Gian, show me what you're made of. This is the best you got." And he's like goading you into punching him. Delight, what do you do?
So I'm evading and observing. I'm gonna roll to see if I get to do anything or not before I explain what it is I'd like to evade and observe.
Yeah. You clear fatigue, and you roll with creativity or harmony.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna roll with creativity because it's my better skill. Okay, and I'm gonna roll a 6 anyway.
Oh.
Well, you can shift your balance away from your center to use a basic technique if you want.
Well, I can shift it away from my center in the progress direction.
You
so that's
can.
Okay, let's do that.
Oh.
Let's do that. I've got lots of space to do that. So I'm gonna use a basic technique. I'm gonna use. Hang on, I had it here in front of me. Now I've tabbed away. I want to hinder or otherwise, do the like hinder or bolster move.
Okay.
What is it? Bolster or hinder? Yeah. Aid or impede a nearby character, inflicting an appropriate status.
Okay.
So
do you
I
do?
think what Delight is gonna do is just fire a bunch of like adhesive grenades into the group of Earth Kingdom soldiers, and try and like get them all like slowed down a bit. Like they're pressuring a lot here, and we need to take some of that pressure off of our fighters. So she's just gonna try and inflict the condition like stuck, or like
Impaired.
impaired
Yeah.
on the soldiers. I don't know about runways particularly because that's kind of like a boss fight, but the soldiers get the chaff.
It's pretty easy to hit all of them in
Yeah.
that area with your glue
Yeah, like,
grenades.
She just sort of like fires with like a big like thunking noises, these little canisters that land and explode in like adhesive goop that is not enjoyable for anyone to be stuck in or generally, but it's super non-lethal, like
Right.
it's very, very like unharmful.
So for these NPCs, they have to mark a fatigue or they have a penalty. And they're not going to mark the fatigue, I think. They have to choose one fewer technique in the next exchange because they're like, get this goop off of me.
Yeah.
Right? So there's this moment as where we see all this happening, right? Ranri stumbles down. It's like, all right, it's like that. Rushes in and just starts wailing on you, surrounded by these soldiers. Yun is doing his best to try and like hold off the projectiles and hold off the soldiers, but it's clear like this is a bad position that you're in, and you get those good strikes off in retaliation, but your back is up against the wall, and I think we see like the rage that's building inside of Jian is like, this is the guy who's been on your case, who represents like some of the worst parts of the Earth Kingdom, the war itself. We don't know how that's going to play out, and the soldiers are like, We cut over to Chi, who is booking it, right? You're running through, like across this open cave area. I think they occasionally, like some of the guards who are chasing you are earthbenders, so they like keep stamping their feet, and like landmines, quote unquote, keep going off around you, where they send like seismic waves that rush forward and then poof, erupt around you. So what are you doing to get out of this situation?
Definitely not standing in a straight line. I'm doing the wivel
Serpentine.
Serpentine, and then every now and then when I get a chance, I will like throw one of my knives behind me just to kind of like and then like continue to just get a good chunk of these soldiers like to like there. I'm sure there's like little tunnels. I have no idea where I'm going, but we're gonna get lost on this great adventure. It's gonna be great.
So you like lead them towards the edge of the cave walls and just like duck into some tunnels, right?
Yeah, I'm just ducking into random tunnels that I think, and then like when they turn the corner, there's gonna be a meat with like 4 knives, and then I go through, just trying to
spin around, throw some knives, duck down a tunnel, right?
Yeah.
I feel like you're pushing your luck to like just get out of here, right?
Yeah.
If you had some more training or some time, maybe you'd be doing something else, but go ahead and roll with your passion.
Let's do this. I believe in myself.
And Susu's like, "Mah!" Just shrieking.
Yeah, we keep doing it. I'm sure I'm helping. I think I'm helping. I'm pretty sure I'm helping. Yeah. I'm helping the group by getting other soldiers lost.
Yeah. And you hear it like
you
every time you turn around, there's like one fewer soldier with you. Like, hey, you go this way, split out, fan out, find them. And eventually, like you duck down enough tunnels, you realize like, I don't think anyone's following me anymore. and you hear echoing like, oh, back this way, no, this way. Bo, where are you? No, you come to me. No, forget that. I'll come to you. You come to me. Like they're completely lost in this maze of tunnels. But on a mixed success, I tell you, it costs you to scrape by, and the cost is you are also hopelessly lost in these tunnels. So like, yes, a bunch of guards are like keep yelling like, "Hey, no, go! You go out, get help! Like, call them in." And we cut back in, I think, to see what your distraction has done. Like, Delight sees the medics and the wounded are like being ushered out into their own little like secret pathways and tunnels. Great, we're clear.
Good, we did it.
But we cut back to Chi, who is just like standing in the shot is that overhead angle. It's like the secret tunnel moment of like, where do I? Oh no! Right?
Yeah.
Like Susu lets out a little like meow, like as if to say hello, and it just echoes through the tunnels. What do you do?
I will try. My buddies are still in danger, so
They
I'm
are
going
still in
to
danger in theory.
try to find my way back, but still like not necessarily leading the other people. I'm going to try to find my way back to, like, where do I hear the loudest, like, not lost noise, but punching, breaking noise.
Yeah. What? Let's tie this back to your. So you're a thief.
Yes, an outlaw.
But you're also used to living in the wilderness, right?
Yeah, I am a wilderness, but yeah, I am. I'm used to not being in, like, it's not bad. It's like a really intricate cave system. I've been in caves before.
You've been
I
in
know.
caves before.
Yeah.
Roll with your focus to rely on your skills and training.
I believe in myself. Oh. Ooh.
The dice
I've
don't
been in the
believe.
city for a little too long.
Okay. So what happens, I think, is it's like grab the wall and just follow it and just keep going
To
this
the
way,
left.
right?
Yeah.
You find your way close to the way out. You can see the way out, like you know, okay, this is the way I came, 100%, right? There is a guard who is like at the entrance, who is like yelling in, like, "Hey, which way did you go?" Who is blocking your way out. It's like,
All right.
you found the way out, it's just guarded. We'll figure out what you want to do in a second. We'll cut back. So we cut back into the middle of this fight. Things are chaotic. The soldiers are like trying to pull the goo off of themselves, and like, they're struggling. What do you do? Do we jump into another exchange? You just like keep trying to fight, basically.
I mean, I think that's
I mean, I
that's
think
where it's going.
like Gian is pretty locked in right now, right? Yeah.
John for sure is locked in. Delight is not locked in, but if you want to keep participating in,
I mean, I
in
gotta help.
things,
I gotta
okay.
help.
Then we go ahead
I
and
think
we choose our approach.
Jen trades a verbal jab in the process. Like, even as all this is happening in response to Ranrui is like, I offered to fight with you, you refused. So if fighting for the Earth Nation means fighting you, then that's what I'll do.
And he's like, it means order. You're supposed to fall in line, Gian. You're doing a piss poor job of it. And you're doing this as you're like trading strikes.
Yeah.
Right? Do you do anything else, or you just like punch it?
I'm probably just be like, I'm fighting with my commander, and then we go.
Yeah. And Yun's like a little overwhelmed, but clearly like still like, yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was calling him out like 5 minutes ago.
Look, it's important to friendships are about callouts, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to evade and observe again. This is
Yep.
my
Okay.
plan.
What are you doing? Obviously, you're advancing and attacking
Yeah,
John.
I'm advancing and
You're not
attacking.
allowed to do anything else. Which means that I reveal what we are doing, and Rondery is going to defend and maneuver.
Oh.
And the city guards, I think, are going to also defend and maneuver. That's what they're going to do.
All right.
So they get to go first because they're defending and maneuvering. The guards will go first. they're going to seize a position, which is to manage to rip the glue off of themselves. Like they like drop their spears and pull out short blades and just start like hacking the glue off. So they're like trying to free themselves from that, but they're focused on doing that. That's the one thing. The other thing is they're going to ready themselves. So they mark a fatigue, and they get to apply a status to the situation, which I think is they're looking for shooters because they've seen the globes fly out. So they're gonna mark prepared. They're like, hey, get the, and they unsling shields from their backs, and so they've got the short blades and shields now.
That was
And
a
so
mistake.
they're like ready for if you.
They're gonna
launch
regret
another-
that.
Ron Rui is going to do some fun stuff. Ron Rui is going to use a special technique that he has, which is momentum throw. He prepares to use a foe's attack momentum to throw them. He marks a fatigue. Anyone who inflicts fatigue, inflicts a condition, or shifts his balance becomes impaired in the next exchange. So he's like, hey, stop trying to hit me and hit me. At the best you got? Come on, you little. And he's like, he's goading you so hard into coming at him. So whatever you do will kind of narratively describe what that is when you do it. But he's gonna mess you up. The other thing he's gonna do is retaliate. So he's like, come on, hit me. Which means that every time that you do the same thing, inflict fatigue conditions or shift his balance, he deals fatigue back to you.
This round's really gonna hurt.
So go ahead and roll with your passion.
All right, I better get something.
Unless you want to mark fatigue and roll with your conditions.
Yeah, I want to do that.
Okay.
I can't say no to a +4. How often do you get to roll with that?
Oh! The highest you can add to a particular roll, yes.
Yep. Okay, 1 fatigue.
Yep.
And then
Make it count, baby.
I guess I'll roll passion, but just I can put 2 onto the roll. Makes it a 12.
Yep. It better.
Didn't need the
Hell
conditions,
yeah.
but it's some nice
Nice.
assurance.
All right. So what do? You get 2 basic or mastered techniques.
Okay. One of them's gotta be the mastered technique.
Yeah. Overwhelm.
It's gonna be
So you mark 3 fatigue and inflict stunned on him.
Yep, and then the other one. Wait, I'm taking fatigue either way, so I'm gonna I can't do something that gives me fatigue because I'll just knock myself out instantly that way.
It is true.
I will strike though, but he gets the choice.
Okay.
We'll go with that.
Cool. That makes sense. So what does it look like as you overwhelm him with this like incredibly powerful stunning blow?
So he's like, stop trying to hit me and hit me.
Right.
And Jan just like sees red with that. He's like, oh yeah, and then he's just gonna forget everything around him and all the defending that he was supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he's just gonna This is an overwhelm. So I think like he does the classic thing. He kicks up a block, but then he's gonna mix it up. Well, we'll say he does the strike first. I think that makes the most sense. So it's like kick up, punch into him, just hurls a block at him, and then kicks up another one, and looks like he's about to do that, but then suddenly switches around. He's like, we're gonna try something else here, and he just fires it up into the ceiling, and he just tries to smash as much up there as possible and bring it raining down to just try and bombard him with way too much stuff. Like
cave in on him.
Yeah, combined with that, like after punching up, he like tries to like grip and pull back down and just like drag as much earth on top of him as possible.
Yeah. So I think the sequence is you like go in, you get the swing, right? I think you like hit him. So you move faster than he's anticipating, which scares him a little bit. So he uses that to turn that into the throw, and he pulls like a heavy like judo grab, arm drag, slams you into the ground, right, with a little slam, an OTG as you like try to get up. Bam! But you get up and use that moment as he's like gloating over you. Like he takes like 2 steps forward, like, huh, I knew you weren't worth the dirt you walk on, and you like pull down the cave in on top of him.
Yeah, I do it from like the ground, like I'm on the ground and I manage to like
right,
I see the ceiling and it gives me the idea and I'm like, boom.
And it pulverizes him. He is stunned at the end of this exchange. He was not expecting that. So you take another fatigue.
Yep. So I just went
from retaliation.
I just went up to 5 fatigue in a very all at once. I'm now at 5 fatigue, 4 conditions. We are riding the edge.
Delight, what do you do?
I see all the soldiers getting out their shields and swords and stuff and looking for a way to, like defend themselves. And I'm gonna I'm gonna roll first, but I'm gonna attempt to use the break special ability that I have, which is the successor special ability.
Ooh.
Hang on. I'm gonna roll creativity. Here we go. 9, yay!
Hey, you get to do it.
So break allows me to take a fatigue to render. I think it's to render vulnerable equipment useless or broken.
Yeah, target a foe's vulnerable equipment, render it useless or broken, possibly inflicting or overcoming a fictionally appropriate status.
Yeah.
You don't even need to mark a fatigue for that. You just.
Oh, I don't. You're right.
Yeah,
I was looking
under
at
the new rule. So yeah, how do you break their shields?
So this is just she just switches out the cartridges on the grenade and goes like, oh, you like that one? Try this one. So fires it up and it explodes in the air and it just rains like it wouldn't be harmful to skin, but to like armor, it's like caustic stuff.
Yeah, right.
And like shields and weapons and stuff start to like disintegrate, basically.
Some kind of acid, right?
Yeah, some kind of acid. Yeah, that's like for inorganics, right?
Yeah.
Like she's like, oh, you prepared? Never mind. Like, goodbye,
it's
shields.
A rusting agent, like a rust monster, right? Like it causes it to just like start dissolving and crumbling, and it's full cartoon moment of like they've got their shields up to block, like ready for the volley. They throw it up, the shields just dissolve, so they're in the defensive position, looking up with their bare arms. Like
I think Delight. At more than at any point previously in this campaign, Delight actually looks like her name. She's just so happy it works. Like she's using this thing that she's developed and it's working, and just keeping the soldiers busy and afflicting statuses. That's what we want.
Yeah, you're having your little Jinx League of Legends moment. Like, haha, take us.
Yes.
They're just like completely flummoxed by it. Ranrui is stunned, so he can't really act at all. Like he's covered in this pile of rocks. He's like, he's like trying to claw his way out of the rocks. The soldiers, having their shields and most of their weapons like dissolved, are like, no.
Yeah, because you kind of described them as not really being benders, right? So
they're mostly foot soldiers.
If I get rid of the weapons, then we're good. Yeah.
Right. I think this is where the flankers from the Badger Mole Society
Badger Moles
erupt and like just start wailing on them from the sides. Like Yun was like, oh, we're ready to break. It's like starting to signal the retreat, and then your acid shell comes out.
I was done.
Right, and like turns, and the flankers come out and just bam, bam, bam with their claws and their earthbending techniques, like shove these guys back. they don't have much left except like boot knives at best. And so like the badger moles are pushing them up the stairs to retreat until they finally start to run. Yun is like leading the charge of like, hey, get them out, like, and make sure everyone's out, right, on the inside of the village. Chi, you hear just like the fight erupting in chaos. There's explosions. There's like sounded like a cave-in or something. What do you do?
There's still that one guard, right?
There's still that one guard.
I am going to do some. Can I, since I'm an outlaw, I want to say I know dirty fighting techniques.
Oh yeah.
So first there's like dirt and stuff around. I'm gonna just like do a run up at the guard, throw dirt in their face, and then just like sucker punch. It's like a double. It'll be an attack of some sort of strike.
Yeah. You just rush up, throw the sand in the face, and then bam, sucker punch and run past.
Yeah.
That's relying on your skills and training, for sure. Roll with focus.
Okay. Focus, go. I can do it. I can punch. Yes. I helped.
I
did
can do it. I can punch.
Smoked him.
Like punch.
It's like, hey, look, pocket sand, boom, in the face. Boom, the fist goes out. The guy doubles over like, oh no, collapses, and you bolt past. And you run back. You see like people are like down below. There's like stairs that go further down. You see people like kind of sneaking into other tunnels to escape. The guards are being routed backwards. The situation seems mostly under control. Gian, with your last couple, you're all exhausted, right? But Ranrui is not fully in control. What do you do in this moment before he has a chance to act?
Does it seem like does it seem like we could capture him, or like he's gonna get away, but I can do something to him first?
Physically, he look like he's stunned, but like Ranrui, he's got stamina training. He could definitely keep fighting you if he wanted. But he's angry. And not just in the like I'm emotionally angry, like Ranrui wants to dominate his like people he sees as lesser than him. And you've seen like the way that he's been acting. He's like he's gonna come at you hard.
Okay. I'm gonna
But he
try
is surrounded by rocks.
I'm gonna try and be ready for him. I'm gonna try and like be ready to weather what he's gonna bring.
Okay.
Like if I think he's gonna
actually,
keep trying to push, then I'm gonna try and hold him.
Yeah, I wanna pitch an idea to you, which is like he's surrounded by this rubble. What if you like encased him? Just like
if I could do that, if I
around
could
him.
just like tighten the grip, like pull it all together and just like trap him, then perfect.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, yeah, totally. I'm not even gonna make you roll for that because I think like he's so because if he's stunned, he can't stop you, and so when he comes to, he's like wriggling around in like an anthill, basically. Like he's surrounded by this dome of rock with his head sticking out. And he's just like "Argh!"
Pushing more bits up, just trying to make sure that it holds.
Right. Let me out of here, you little. And Yun like breaks off. The guards are routed. And I think maybe we'll leave it on this moment as Chi comes like running back, like the people got away, you're in one piece, the soldiers are routed. This little settlement is compromised, but they have places to hide. And Ranrui is temporarily indisposed. And so maybe that's the last thing we see is like the three of you converging on Ranrui, who's just like "Rah!" with his little head sticking out of the
Yeah.
Nice. All right. there we go. That's the session. We're gonna go and do an after show, of course. So keep an eye out on the Patreon for that coming up in a few days. But let's go through the outro gubbins. Let's go through the announcements for today. So we got stuff happening on the Patreon. We got the NPC name submissions are up, and the Corbin Cogdeer character sheet from Dungeons & Dragons Ascension is out as well for you to check out. There's plenty more Ascension stuff coming as well in the coming weeks, so keep an eye out for tons more things coming from EE. As soon as we complete the stuff, you'll get all the secrets about the stuff we completed. We're sponsored by Roll20. We used it for the show today, of course, and all the dice rolling and everything. Super convenient for that. And also keep an eye out the next few days on Patreon for the ability to sign up for a holiday special gift. Also, as of 1 minute ago, the MP3 and the after show for the latest episode of Ascension have gone out on the Patreon, so you can check those out right now over there. But let's go through where you can find people. How about Banzai? What are you doing? Where can we find you?
Hello, everybody. I'm Bonsai Baby. You can find me on twitch.tv/Bonsai Baby. Currently, I am finishing up making a chessboard and going to be moving on, making my mods some gifts soon because, tis the season and, mods deserve nice things. And so we're going to be making them pens and everything like that. You could also find me on Twitter as well, but Bonsai Baby, because gosh darn it, there's somebody who hasn't used their account for like 8 years that is still holding on to it. I've contacted them and they won't give it to me.
I know this feeling.
Yeah. Oh, so bad. But yeah,
Bentham,
you could just
there.
follow me. They're out there. But yeah, just follow me on the Twitters to really know where I am. I hop around to a lot of different streams on role-playing and stuff like that. But yeah.
Alright, Elf, what about you?
Well, hello. I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf, where I do a bunch of my own RPG stuff. Right now we're running 2 campaigns on my channel. One called The City is the End on Tuesday mornings, which is a super, wacky fantasy city. It's cool. It's very cool. Check it out. And also on Wednesday evenings, we're running a Blades in the Dark campaign called Blades in the Dark: House of the Rising Sun. And that is getting very interesting. There's a very dramatically gory scene that happened during our last episode, and things are going badly. So that's what you want out of Blades, basically.
I mean, if it's not going badly, is it really Blades?
Well, when you wake up in the middle of a circle of dismembered body parts that a ghost in your head has said, "Hey, thanks for letting me help you," that's probably bad. It's probably bad. Just like a pentagram of dismembered people. Yeah, great, good. So there's that. Check that out.
And of course, our GM Simon, what are you up to?
Hey everybody, I'm Simon. You can find me on Twitter at Lucha Libris. I write and publish tabletop role-playing games at colorspurgames.itch.io. I am a voice actor for the queer, sci-fi, and fantasy audio drama, The Penumbra Podcast. If you want to hear yourself represented in stories, that's at The Penumbra Pod on Twitter, thepenumbrapodcast.com. I'm here, obviously, Saturdays, and I got a couple of other things in the fire. Eventually, we'll get back to another season of our streaming channel, All Nerds Here, twitch.tv/allnerdshere. If you want to check out some stuff by a bunch of BIMPOC and queer creators, we follow the account on Twitter and get notified when we launch our new season.
And of course, I am Bentham. You can find me in various places under the very weird, but it makes sense, I swear, name Mangled Pork and Mangled Pork Gaming, where we're doing lots of multiplayer games and some single-player games for once. On Tuesday, I accidentally streamed over 11 hours of Kenshi, so that's a thing.
Yes, yes. Also, Bentham, you just gotta own the Mangled Pork thing. The more you say it's weird, but you just gotta own it. You just gotta be like, that's the name.
Do the name change.
That's how you do it.
It is what it is. I mean, one day maybe it'll become Bentham Plays or something. Last time I tried to do that, everyone was like, "No, keep Mangled Pork," and I'm like, "Okay, fine." And then people come in like, "The hell is this name?" I don't know. It's been a constant thing that I've been fighting over in my brain for 8 years.
Don't listen to other people, Bentham. Do what your heart tells you. Follow your dreams. Dear. Be Bentham if you want. or mangled pork.
Well, it can't be
Either
Bentham.
way.
That's the problem. There's way too
Oh,
many Benthams in
no!
the world. Like I didn't realize how many. I knew there was a town called Bentham. I knew there was Jeremy Bentham,
no.
the Inventor of Utilitarianism, and but then it also turns out there's a K-pop band called Bentham. There's a One Piece
Oh,
character
no!
called Bentham. I'm
Oh,
like, what is that
oh
about?
my God, there's so many.
It's a pain.
This is a poor brand decision.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
like,
And Bentham's taken on Twitter. It's a disaster. But yeah, more multiplayer games. Played Valheim this week. We got Barotrauma tomorrow. If I don't sleep through it, I did sleep through Phasmophobia yesterday, so who really knows? We'll see. But that's what I'm up to. And there's probably more Kenshi coming. But yes, that's the show. We'll go do an after show now. You can check it out in the next few days on the Patreon, of course. Next time you'll catch Roll for it will be on Thursday with Dungeons & Dragons Ascension, and of course you'll find us back here same time next week with a Maggie once again for the next episode. So we'll see you then, and may the dice roll ever in your favor.